Welcome to the show before the show, where I check to make sure everything is working. How are you? I'm Pat, your host. And I'm sitting in front of a handful of cards that were suggested for this particular brew. We'll talk about all of them. But this is a Brew Master deck tech, so that does in fact mean one of our Patreon members had requested this one. And it's actually one I was really interested in when she came out. Kaza Storm Chaser, as I'm calling it, but Royal Chaser. It's called Royal Chaser. And I absolutely love Izzet. It's surprising to hear me say that if you watch the show. You know I don't generally brew for blue, at least not in Commander, but I definitely love blue in other formats. And this is a fun opportunity to play with my favorite, side of blue, the spell slingy side, which we get to do a lot of with Kaza. But there were a ton of things that Spaceman MTG had thought of and suggested and just wanted general guidance for this build. So Spaceman, if you're watching this, happy that we finally got to it. This is going to be a real fun one. But this is one of our Brew Master Patreon members that suggested this, and of course hang tight to the end of this video. Our YouTube members, I'll go ahead and put a poll up on what you'd like to see, and of course you guys can always recommend what you'd like to see on the channel next for Cold Brew, which is next Tuesday. But how are you guys? Mine, top, Jake, I don't know what that is. MLW, hello 99. Well, hello. Pleasure to see you. Nathaniel says, Kaza, gotta go fast.deck. Kind of. I mean, we have that opportunity, right, with the cost reduction. And that's really all Kaza is, right? It's just another, you can kind of look at it as a form of mana. It's in its essence, though, it's just cost reduction based off of Wizards. So that's probably the first thing we're going to look at. But without diving into this video too much, I have taken a look at some of the synergies. I haven't placed everything in the deck because I want to go over them with you, obviously. But if you want to follow along with this one, you can do so by following the link in the description. Architect Dean Jackman tapped out. Check it out. Dean Jackman, did you recommend this last time and did I not shut you down? Did I not shut down Architect? I have an Architect account. I don't like it. I wish I did. Tapped out is simple and it works. And when you're on Google Chrome, there's no ads. There's no ads. Sorry, unrelated. Do you play the guitar? Do I play the guitar? I do. I did. I don't much anymore, but these are some guitars I've collected on the wall, like you've likely seen from previous videos. I have a Gibson Vegas High Roller. I want to say like late 80s, 90s Dan Electro DC50. And then this is what you can see, a Fender Telecaster custom. It's actually made in Japan, but it's better than any American-made ones I've ever played. Love it. The only issue is this little input here. The jack's messed up. Like, it'll catch the pin, but it sometimes will just like disconnect. I don't know. I've never gone around fixing it, but easily my favorite pickups on any guitar. And this Bigsby tremolo is really nice too. Works well. Hey, James Long, Architect is better. Damn! James Dean, part of the Architect team. Maybe one day we'll make the switch. What's cool is that you can export these onto your Architect. So if you want to further work on these, you're more than welcome to do that. I just happen to like. I'm sorry, I happen to like this system. Yes, and Izzet Commander. Yeah, pretty stoked. I have a bunch of these in the bulk bin. This is a good general. Breaking binders. Well, I can't guarantee that the price of your bulk bin rares are going to go up after this video, but one can hope, right? No, I think that Kaza is fine. I don't think that it's groundbreaking in what it does, but it's an interesting form of utility that comes at a pretty low cost, right? And puts you in a really good part of the color pie. Red right now is extremely potent. Again, we always talk about Dockside Extortionist and Underworld Breach, but truth be told, those are really back-breaking cards. In 99 card singleton, it's funny how damning like one card can be. And I was speaking with a speaking with a Patreon member recently about Theros Beyond Death, just how damning that set really was. I don't think people realize, like, Thassa's Oracle and Underworld Breach, both cards that you'll likely see in this deck, and both cards you see in predominantly every deck in a cEDH setting that is in blue and or red. Underworld Breach, Thassa's Oracle, they both came from the same set. It's absurd the amount of power that came out of that set, and how potent those singular cards are. Yeah, they kill it. And we get both, right, with Izzet. So Izzet's in a pretty good place. And then obviously you've got really great utilities to go along with those cards. Namely, so far as Storm is concerned, in the Storm chasing aspect of this deck, we have Brain Freeze, right, which is everyone's favorite go-to Underworld Breach fuel. It's pretty good. I have a bunch of these. Nope, talked about that. No, I didn't hear a shutdown this time. Copy that. No, it's no offense, Dean. I'm joking with you. I don't. You can use Architect if you want. Someone had mentioned Architect the other day, and I'd mentioned that I tried it and it was not good. I forgot if it was you or someone else. Won't be able to watch completely, but have a great stream. Trent, thank you. Guitar stream ever? No pressure if you don't play much anymore. Yeah, I just don't play much anymore. My priorities are different. I was thinking it'd be fun to make music, like ambient music for game nights, like people that play while they're gaming, Magic or otherwise. But it's just, it's so time consuming. It's not going to be lucrative, and it would really just be for the hell of it. And that's fine, but I can't really devote my time to that right now. Sadly, they're sort of just decor. Allie, my girlfriend, uses the instruments in the house, though. At least they get use, right? I was a long-time user of Tapped Out myself. Ragavan Jessica. Will is nutty too. Yeah, I bet. Yeah, I mean, I like Tapped Out a lot. I've just been on it for years, and it's always worked, so I like it. I think it's a decent system. They could probably afford to update it, but they don't care, clearly. I have 3 main ones. I personally prefer Moxfield, but I'm inclined to agree with you with the fact that Architect is worse than Tapped Out. Is there a combo line in this deck outside of Underworld Breach? There is. Glad you asked. Glad you asked. There's more to this deck than meets the eye. I promise. I definitely promise that. But before we start this video, obviously, how are you guys doing? I'm going to take a drink of water. I've been playing a lot of Pokemon Unite. If I look tired, I've been playing so much Pokemon Unite. That might be why. Crushing it, by the way. Crushing it. It's so fun. It's so fun. It's been a while since I've sat down to like play a video game. And I gravitated to that one because obviously I love Pokemon. I've loved Pokemon for years. But I haven't played like a Pokemon-themed game in a while since I worked at a Nintendo World, as a matter of fact, the one here in New York City. But yeah, it's fun. It's really fun if you like MOBAs. I'm not even sure what that acronym means. I just know that's what they call them. Like a tower defense game. Lane at the top, lane at the bottom. Jungle-y center. Ooey gooey center. Delicious. It's fun. And Venusaur kicks ass, which is great. Poetic justice. For always being the last picked Pokemon at Professor Oak's, Venusaur kicks so much ass. Charizard's okay. Blastoise is pretty damn good too, actually. But I love it. I main Venusaur in this game, and it's so enjoyable. Anyway. Yeah, but how are you guys? I'm excited for Kaza Royal Chaser again. This is one I've been thinking about for a while. It's funny how many sets came out this year, how many legendaries came out in these sets, and there's still a bunch that I just haven't gotten to or had a chance to think on, which is fantastic when we run these live streams because I have all the time to think on them. If you guys have played in these colors or have played a Kaza Royal Chaser list before, feel free to add your 2 cents. I'm more than interested in hearing your thoughts and opinions on this card because we are trying to make, well, if not a better version, a good version of this list for MTG Spaceman. But Spaceman MTG, excuse me. So, on that note, what do you think about Dragon Bear? What do you think about the last character in Smash Ultimate? Is that Kazuya? Am I wrong? What do I have? The last season pass I bought, the last character I got was Sephiroth, and I love Sephiroth. I'm a huge fan of Final Fantasy VII, so of course I was gonna like Sephiroth, but he's so fun and so good. He's so damn good in Smash. I haven't updated my battle pass or whatever they're calling it, the just the character roster. If it's the character from Tekken though, Kazuya. No, I haven't tried them. I'm not really a fan of mixing these more traditional fighting game fighters in the Smash world. Not that it's bad, like Terry, Ryu, Ken, obviously it's fine. I don't really mind. But when their movesets are similar, it's like, I don't know, I'm playing Smash for a different reason. It's cool to see them, the representation, but it doesn't really get me excited, sadly. Problem I have with Architect is that the card search is not working. That would be a problem, wouldn't it? I'm good. My playgroup pseudo banned my Turgid Hand Destruction tribal deck yesterday, so that's something. We are a relatively competitive playgroup, so I really must have to hit... wow. Well, Ruben, hopefully this can be your new go-to. I mean, I think that this is going to be pretty good, personally speaking. There's a lot of stuff you get to do with this. I'll obviously speak my mind in just a second, but... Sora from Kingdom Hearts? Oh. Sora from Kingdom Hearts. What do I think about that? If anyone else plays Smash in the audience, chime in. I love Smash. There's a lot of sword wielders already, so I don't know if... Well, I mean, it's a Keyblade, right? It's not the same. It's not a sword. But I'm assuming he's gonna operate like most sword wielders in the game. I'm excited to see Sora then. Sure. I'll probably buy that. I mean, I absolutely love the Kingdom Hearts series. Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2 in particular. And I also played Dream Drop Distance. I think it was the last one I played on 3DS. Pretty fun. But, you know, do you play Sora in that one? I don't think you started Sora. I don't even know if you play Sora in that one. But that one was really great. Sora's cool. I don't know. I don't know what they're gonna do for like special abilities. I guess there's like a video online from IGN that's talking about it, or GameSpot. I'll go to one of those sources to watch like the character preview, but no, I didn't hear about it. That sounds dope. How competitive can you make land destruction in cEDH? All these good questions. This is a deck that could do competitive land destruction because it's going to reduce the cost of those instants and sorceries, right? And then all of your shit costs less and you just need your artifacts to do the job for you, right? Land destruction is not really a good strategy right now in cEDH because most people are on mana rocks, like fast mana, right? So if you're going to cut people off their land resources, you got to make sure that you're doing it in a way that isn't inadvertently tilting the game in someone else's favor. That's the issue with a lot of these mass destruction spells. So if you're going to, you know, do Ravages of War, make sure that before you do it, or Ruination, I guess, if we're looking at Kaza, Royal Chaser, any of the mass land destruction spells in red, make sure that you're not making the game lopsided. Or if you are, make sure it's in your favor, because you don't want to give the game to someone because you destroyed everyone's lands and they're like, well, I had interaction and now this guy just has a combo because he was able to push out X amount of rocks on his turn 1, and you just decide to throw the game by breaking all the lands, which can happen. And is that good? Maybe. I don't know. Is mass land destruction good? It's a reset. Like, are you winning the game when you do that? Are you doing anything of real value when you do that? My number one rule when it comes to like any mass destruction build, any stacks build in particular, is if you're going to do the thing, you better have an exit strategy. Because if you're doing this and your sole goal is like to torment people, yeah, that's can be fun depending on what your group cares to do that evening. But if the game's going to go on like an hour or more and you're just waffling about, it really sucks. So if your mass land destruction build has a strategy to it, then that's great, right? Like you're in, I don't know, you're in Jund, and then you have abilities to like play lands from your graveyard, Rummin Up, Crucible, all that stuff, and then you can sort of gain advantage and like incrementally win. Sure. But otherwise, I don't know, have a game plan. You got to tell me more about this mass land destruction build, but they can be viable. I just don't want to see it unless you're winning the game. Brewing Blue again. You've changed, Patrick. This is a Brew Master deck. This was not my choice, but I'm actually really excited for it because I liked Kaza when she came out, and like no one's playing Kaza. No one plays her, at least in my group. I never see her played. So if there are Royal Chasers out there, Club Royal Chaser, let me know. I'd be interested in seeing like a Royal Chaser play. And on that note, that's actually, I got some cool news for after this video. Have y'all played Razaketh, the Foul-Blooded in EDH? As a reanimate target, what do you think if y'all have and any pointers. Stutter for Life. Is that your name? I'm not going to offer any advice on this. It's generally better as a reanimate target. That's all I got to say. Mono Black is in a tough spot right now. I think the only Mono Black list I see or hear played would be Crick, because it's trying to do a thing quickly, and if it can get there, it gets there. If it doesn't, then it waffles, as our friend Dean mentions. You love waffling? I love waffles in general. I don't know if I like waffling about, though. But on that note, why don't we start this one proper? Welcome back to the 99, where we're focused on brewing a better competitive commander. I'm your host, Patrick Marlette, and today we have Brew Master. This is where we build lists that were recommended by our Brew Master Patreon tier, and today we are looking at Spaceman MTG's Kaza Royal Chaser, or should I say, we're starting from scratch on a Kaza Royal Chaser for Spaceman. And this is essentially the criteria that I had going for this list. For a while now, I've been trying to come up with a Kaza Royal Chaser list. I'm not too great at the brewing aspect of Magic, but I was looking at cards like Ruination, Tunnel Vision, and Aminatu's Augury. Some expensive cards, and Ruination, right? That hits your non-basic lands, all your non-basic lands. And we'll take a look at some of these in a second. I've pulled some of them up for us. There are few other 4 to 5 CMC cards like Fathom Troll, Drawn from Dreams, and Talent of the Telepath. Most recently, Step Through and Sorcery Class from D&D set had me interested in trying to brew this commander once more. I would be very interested to see how you would build a list around this legendary. And Spaceman MTG, I'll make sure that you get this over on the Discord. If you guys are fans of the channel and you tune in every week to see these live streams and you want to participate more in the channel, you can obviously do so by joining as a member, but the Discord, free to get on. Obviously, we hold a lot of different channels on the Discord, but if you ever needed help, like brewing questions, there's a spot for that in the Discord. But more importantly, after this video, our go-to man, Josh, is going to be hosting games on the Discord. So 5 to 7, a little bit later this evening at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so depending on where you are, it's going to vary. But there's going to be games held on the Discord. So voice on Discord, obviously games on Spell Table, or Cockatrice if you happen to have Cockatrice. So be sure to join the Discord for that and to test this Kaza Royal Chaser list on Cockatrice if you happen to start one of those games over there. But this should be a fun one, and I'm actually going to switch over to the screen I'm looking at, and we can look at some of the cards that were suggested just there by Spaceman. But first and foremost, I do want to take a gander at Kaza Royal Chaser, because I know I've been talking about her this whole time. I've suggested what she might do for us, but I haven't specifically stipulated what she does. So for Izzet, legendary creature, human wizard, girl's riding a flying wand. I don't know what's going on. It's like a staff. Is that staff a weapon that's in the game? I need to know. 1/2 body. Flying haste. Okay, so you get to do the thing immediately. And what is that thing? Tap. The next instant or sorcery spell you cast this turn costs X less to cast, where X is the number of wizards you control as the spell resolves. As this ability, rather, resolves. So, do this first, right? Tap it. If Kaza is the only wizard out, then it will reduce the cost of the next instant or sorcery spell. So if your next instant or sorcery spell is 2 generic, 1 blue, it's 1 generic, 1 blue. That's really good. That's pretty darn good. It's also really cool to note with this, and I've seen people suggest like wizards. People just throw, you should use these wizards. I'm like, yeah, that's cool. You can. But I'm like, well, there's also like changelings. And I was like, well, are there any good changelings? Because they are every typing, right? There's only one changeling that really caught my attention, and that's the Universal Automaton, right? So it's every single creature type. And there are shapeshifters in the game that don't have the keyword changeling, so don't get that mixed up. Just because a card's a shapeshifter doesn't mean it has every single creature type, sadly. And one good example of that I pulled up was a Glasspool Mimic, where it could be that type, depending on what you copy, right? But I kind of like Glasspool Mimic here, and we'll get into why in a second. But Universal Automaton, this is great. So to me, this reads as like one generic, one it's helping the Metalcraft strategy. It's easy to get out, but it's 1 for a 1 cost reducer on every single instant or sorcery. And obviously if Kaza's out, it's 1 for 2 cost reduction on any instant or sorcery that comes after this. What's also really cool is that it says control. So if you were to put a changeling spell on the stack, and there are like changeling tribal spells, I guess I should look at that too. in case you guys were wondering. I thought this was kind of a cool synergy. Not that there are any good changeling tribal spells, mind you, but we'll just look this up. There's one right there, right? So this card is every creature type at all times, right? So if I were to put Blades of Velis Veil on the stack, and then I was to activate Kaza, you control things, objects that are on the stack, obviously, and any permanents on the battlefield. So you would actually get a cost reduction just for casting the spell. Unfortunately, there aren't any good tribal, instant, or sorcery changeling cards. They're called shapeshifters too. It's very weird. And sadly, that's like a synergy we don't get to play with. And so far as like the changelings that I looked at, this was the only one that I thought of interest, right? There is Moth Dust Changeling. There's nothing exciting about Moth Dust Changeling, in my opinion. I would rather just have this, like I can cast this off of anything than concern myself with having to have a blue. Not that we're not going to prioritize blue in this deck. Let me get that straight. But Kaza Royal Chaser. There's a lot going on here for us, right? It's like, again, like I said off the bat, it's just a big old cost reduction. But I pulled up some of the cards that were mentioned. Ruination, as I already mentioned, is 3 generic, 1 red sorcery, destroy all non-basic lands, right? So that's something you can do. Obviously, I wouldn't recommend doing that for all the same reasons I mentioned earlier. It's ironic that this happened. Don't do it unless you have a lot of artifact mana. Bad idea. Tunnel Vision. 5 generic, 1 blue, sorcery, choose card name. Target player reveals cards from the top of their library until a card with the name is revealed. That's kind of cool, isn't it? If it is, that player puts the rest of the revealed cards into their graveyard and puts the card with the chosen name on top of their library. Otherwise, player shuffles. So this is actually, I don't mind Tunnel Vision because Tunnel Vision operates like a Hermit Druid, right? And unfortunately, in my earnest opinion, this is instant speed. That kind of sucks. Or sorry, this is sorcery speed rather. If it was instant, it would be really, really good, right? I would think Tunnel Vision's fantastic because then you can sort of crack this at the end of turn. If you have Thassa's Oracle in hand, well, then you... If your hand was just built around Thassa's and like I got a counterspell and then I'll dig for another counterspell or whatever, that'd be fantastic. And then we also have things like Pass and Flame to give this flashback if we wanted to do it, right? But the cost reduction on this, if we can get this lower, that would be kind of cool. I could see this being unique. Obviously, is this better than Demonic Consultation, Tainted Pact? No, not at all. Aminax's Augury is a lot of mana. It's 8 mana. And at most, it's going to be 8. At least, it's going to be... I don't think we're going to have that many wizards on the field. So it's probably going to be like a 5 to cast at the best case scenario. Sorcery. Exile the top 8 cards of your library. You may put a land card from among them onto the battlefield until the end of turn. Each non-land card type for each non-land card type, you may cast a spell of the type. Huh. Well, that's kind of cute. I think digging 8 deep for this kind of effect isn't really fantastic. And the last ones I want to look at before we get to talking about my ideas for the deck, and then obviously checking back in with you, is Fathom Troll, which sounds kind of cool. But these are just some cards. I want to see if we can incorporate some of the cards that Spaceman was interested in. 5 CMC sorcery. Reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal 3 non-land cards. Put the non-land cards revealed this way into your hand. This is... so I do want to put value cards into the deck, card quality effects, but I'm thinking more things like Frantic Search, because like a cheap Frantic Search off turn, you still have the mana sufficient to, like, you know, yield and wield counterspells, but you're also just filtering through your deck trying to find the solutions. So genuinely, I kind of want this list to just work off of all the Frantic Searches, all of the card quality effects, just going through those, controlling the board, and then pushing for a Storm win, which we'll get into in just a second. And then Drawn from Dreams, I think like I'm familiar with. It's like the 2 Drawn from Dreams. It's like the 2 Koi Fish or whatever. Look at the top 7 cards of your library. Yeah, so more of the same card quality effects. This one's not so bad. Again, I'm going to lean towards instants for a majority of the time for most of these because I don't want to really do these on my turn. But this is still fine because top 7, put 2 of them into your hand, the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. That's not bad. I do want to look at Talent of the Telepath, and this will be the last one. Talent of the Telepath. This one's pretty cool, actually. Target opponent reveals the top 7 cards of their library. You may cast an instant sorcery. Spell mastery, this is the more important part. But you may cast an instant sorcery from among them without paying its mana cost. Then that player puts the rest into their graveyard. But if there are 2 or more instant or sorcery spells in your graveyard, you may cast up to 2 instant or sorcery spells from among the revealed cards instead. I think that's, I love the art. I've always liked this card. I don't know if it's necessarily something we want to rock, but I do like it. Target opponent reveals the top 7 cards of their library. It's like, well, you would need to hit... You're trying to hit, like, the person that has black in their list, I guess. Like, taking someone's Ad Nauseam would be great. Taking someone's Demonic Tutor for your own stuff would be great. There's, like, a lot of cool stuff you could get, but... 7 deep for 4 on an opponent is good because it's resource denying and it's also not that expensive. So maybe Talon of the Telepath is my favorite of the lot. But let me tune in with you guys and see how you're feeling about this so far. Any of these suggestions, obviously, and then the list going into this. And you can obviously see here, I have a few cards down, and you can see my sub-strategy already built up. The thing I really want to do with this deck, outside of just doing Thassa's Oracle, that's very easy. A blind man could accomplish that task. It's what is the bread and butter for most cEDH lists that incorporate blue these days. Just to end with Thassa's Oracle. I sent you my Unite info in Brew Baby Discord. You should add me for games. Outcasts. There is a rigorous screening program and process, I should say. I got to make sure that you're up to snuff. I can't just let anyone be on my Pokemon team, okay? I want to be the best that there ever was. And if you have that same goal in mind, I'm just shitting you. That'd be fun. I was playing with Justin today. I want to say we lost. It was really good. And just random standard battles, I think we got maybe 4 losses out of 3 or 4 losses out of, like, God, we played so long, 20 some odd games. Doing really well. He's playing a support class. I'm playing, I have a range of attackers, but very, very fun. We should definitely jam. I would love that. Enchanted Evening, Calming Verse is the most fun board destruction combo ever. Enchanted Evening, I trust you. I would love to see your build of Veyran. Veyran. I don't know what that is. What did I miss in the first 20? Tate? Not too much. Just chilling, just chatting. Nothing crazy. Why do you use Tap Out? I don't know. No offense, but I like... What is this? What is this? Why are we... Who cares? Who cares? This is the deck builder. I'm so confused. It's coming up a lot right now. I'm not biased towards any editors. This is just the one I use. Seriously, Tapped Out is painful to look at. I like Tapped Out. Thank you, Trueheimer. I don't get that. Everything's so immediately accessible. All right. Then they did this last year, edit search form when adding cards, and very nice. Okay, so more like dig through. Yeah, more like dig through time, right? Docent of perfection. Docent of perfection. What are these? Are these words? Docent. Whenever you cast instant sorceries, I don't think we need that. Better than it was anyway. Twin Flame combo and Snappy maybe. Cathartic Pyre. Cathartic Pyre. Okay, this is the last suggestion I'll look at before I get into this one. Cathartic Pyre. Yeah, something like this, I guess. This is fine. This is nice card quality / removal. Yeah, I like Cathartic Pyre. Discard 2 cards. Likely lean on loot before rummage, but this has creature removal on it. So the main goal, I think it's easy to say for any Izzet list, is going to rely on an Underworld Breach line of play, right? You land Underworld Breach, maybe you have an Intuition pile here. It's not going to be a great one in Izzet, but the ideal scenario is that you have Underworld Breach, a tutor for your Brain Freeze, right? And I'll show you what Brain Freeze is, in case you don't know. A target player puts the top 3 cards of his or her library into his or graveyard. If you have cast other spells this turn, you likely would have. You will storm with it, hence the name of this deck. And you're just going to dump your library into your graveyard. You rely on fast mana, namely LED. It's a good catalyst, but it's not essential for this combo, so don't feel like you need LED to make this work. Provided you have a Lotus Petal, you're able to do a lot of work. And Brain Freeze is going to put more cards into your graveyard than you're ever going to need to exile with Underworld Breach. And then ultimately you'll land on casting Thassa's Oracle. But what's also, you win the game. It says win the game. If you don't know what Thassa's Oracle does, it says win the game. But this is also a shell for Narumea, right? So we have Narumea here at 4 CMC, and then we have Dualcaster Mage at 3 CMC. And what's really cool is they're essentially the same thing. One is less than the other. They're both wizards though. So what's beautiful about having these in the deck, in my opinion, the synergy here is the fact that we have wizards, so we can play them out early for value. Copy our own spell. Sadly with Narumea, it has to be something you can control. But with Dualcaster Mage, we can rip this early game and copy a DT or copy any sort of value effect that we're looking to steal from our opponents and just have a wizard body on the field that will help us reduce the cost of future spells with Kaza, right? But also, if you have things like the Glass Pool Mimic that enters the battlefield as a pre-existing creature, then you can still cheat out combos just by having Dualcaster Mage on the field. Or if you have a blink effect, excuse me, you can do the same thing with Dualcaster Mage, right? So if we were using blinks like we will be using with Narumea, we can get the job done as well. The combos we're generally going to rely on are ones that generate creatures, tokens that have haste, so we can just win through combat. But also bear in mind that we're making infinite wizards. So with infinite wizards, Kaza is infinitely cost-reducing everything, right? Which we're not really relying on. We're not really looking for some big X spell, although we can have a handful of X spells that finish the game if that's something we want. But even something simple like a Blue Sun Zenith is going to let us draw our deck, right? We'll just cost reduce for 80, right? And we'll say 80 is X, and then we'll pay the triple blue, and then you'll go through it, right? But obviously, if it's something like Narumea Ghostly Flicker, you're also just making infinite mana, so it doesn't matter. You're going to get it one way or another. This is really just for value, in my opinion. I don't think Kaza Royal Chaser is groundbreaking in her effect. It's just a good value effect that puts you in these colors. Do I wish she was a 1/3? Kind of. I kind of do. But there are the main lines of play. And land base, I think I've covered everything. The one land that's most important in my mind is Minamo. You can untap target legendary permanent. Will there be other legendary permanents that are relevant? Maybe. But in this scenario, it's just Kaza, right? So you can cost reduce effects off turn as well if she happened to be tapped. So you get her back for that. There's really no lands in here that are special that need mentioning outside of that. There's just a good mix of dual lands in here, all the fetch lands, obviously. If I missed a fetch land, let me know. But here's another interesting MDFC. I was thinking this would be kind of cool to incorporate because it's the effect of Heat Shimmer, right? Gain control of target creature until end of turn, untap it, it gains haste. But with Kaza, it's reduced, right? So this becomes a more playable Heat Shimmer effect, coupled with the fact that it's also a land provided we need a land, right? After we've done Ruination, we can flip this over onto its land side, right? I don't know. We're not going to go for a mass land destruction thing, but the first thing I want to do above anything is really just look for those wizard synergies. And to be perfectly honest with you, I don't imagine trying to go over the 4 CMC mark here. I think that we're probably going to look at 2 and under for the most part. And again, we've already covered the changelings that I would have thought were interesting. There's things like Curse Catcher. These are very easy includes. They're just easy to play out. It's a constant cost reduction with Kaza. And then obviously, when push comes to shove, you can just sack it to counter a spell, right? But Curse Catcher is definitely going to go in. I just want to check in with you guys again. I'm going to try to just graze past the weird deck builder hate and then get to actually deck building. But let me see here. Lion's Eye Diamond Gamble. Oh my God, Jacob, would you stop with the good suggestions? Yeah. Use whatever deck builder you want, I guess is what I'm saying. But don't tell me what the fuck to use. So we're going to use Lion's Eye Diamond for sure. These are obvious includes. We're just not at this part of the video. Thank you, though, Jacob. Banefire. Is Banefire the one that lets you target, if we're on the path to... There is an X spell like Comet Storm or something that lets you hit multiple targets. This is just any one target. It's not good to just single out players, right? So when we go for this, it needs to kill everyone, right? So Comet Storm, choose any target, then choose another. Yeah, Comet Storm. Something like this, but there's got to be a better one. I don't know if Izzet does have a better one. I don't generally research blue cards. Again, if you follow the channel, you know I don't generally brew for blue. But if there is a better one, just let me know. Primal Amulet? Oh god. I swear to god, we're gonna get to Wizards soon. Okay, so it's already doing the cost reduction that we don't necessarily need more of. Let me just start there. Whenever you cast an instant sorcery spell, put a charge counter on it, and if there are 4 or more, that's a lot. Add 1 mana of any color that when that's mana is spent to cast an instant sorcery, copy that spell. This is a very, very, very tedious copy effect, and it's largely a do nothing in this list when you drop it. Like, you spend 4 generic to do that, and yes, you're reducing things that much further, but just dropping a value wizard, like, to me, like, just playing Curse Catcher is better than that. Like, I don't have hopes of flipping that, and I don't think it should be part of the game plan. No offense on Primal Amulet, I just don't think it really falls in line with like an efficient Storm strategy. Especially if I use something like a Twin Cast to copy someone's Ad Nauseam, I don't want to flip a Primal Amulet, because trust me, I want to use all the copy spells in this deck. I want to use all the copy spells. So it would be great to do the Narset's Reversal, take the effect, and then just pop off on our turn, right? Because what is going to be better than stealing someone's tutor? To just be popping off with someone else's Ad Nauseam. And just as frequently as you can expect to see a Thassa's Oracle, a Dockside, an Underworld Breach, all those cards, Gilded Drake, which we need to add, you can expect to see an Ad Nauseam. So play for it. Play for it. Or don't. It's really up to you. Is Information Dealer too slow for this deck? I don't know. That's a really good question. Is Information Dealer a wizard? Look at the top X cards of your library, where X is the number of wizards you... So it's an interesting type of scry that has amazing art and will come in an Onslaught Old Border foil. So you know that I'm biased already. I have to say, I'm not high on this card. I do think the effect is okay as a repeatable value piece, and Information Dealer himself is fine, right, as like a totem. I do think that, you know, like, obviously having like a Baral Chief of Compliance is just better, right? This gives you the ability to loot, right? So we're not really doing the same thing, but we are doing a very similar thing, and it's just better. It's just 2 CMC for cost reduction of 2 by itself, being a wizard and the top ability. And you can see I already put Baral in here. That's kind of a staple in this list. Like, that was immediately something that I thought to add. Okay. What about step through for some wizard cycling? I don't know if the wizard cycling is going to be too important. I want to talk about it though, because obviously having value wizards on the field for Kaza is great, but Thassa's Oracle is a wizard. So enlist outside of, well, in this instance, in an ideal world, Grixis would be where you're at, and then you just have black for the tutors to find the necessary cards, so you wouldn't have to think about wizard cycling. But we can put in the ether, whatever, mage and step through. Fine. I'll do that now. Because I think that that's going to be fine for just concluding the game, right? We might even want to do like the paradigm shift thing. I'm kind of liking the paradigm shift Thassa's Oracle. But step through, and then it's like ether mage, ether something. Vidalcan ether mage is also the other wizard cycler, and she happens to be a wizard herself. Kind of costly, but whatever. We'll put it in for now. Again, this isn't to say that all of these stick. It's just a thing. This thing we can do. So put that there. Okay. There was a new card from Innistrad with X, and if you're commander, you do both. Draws cards in mills. Apologies if it was already mentioned. Trent, I don't know which one that is. But Jaya's immolating. What about paradigm shift? Oh, Antonio, wow, you literally got there. So why don't we talk about that really quick as like a side strategy to this. I'm not going to try to spell that word. All right, exile all cards from your library, then shuffle your graveyard into your library. So essentially, your graveyard becomes your library, right? And what's nice is that if we do have enough permanents, it's not, we should be able to use Paradigm Shift and get away with using Thassa's Oracle. Now, I'll state that we're gonna, Unless the brain freeze was in our hand, I'm not sure this is too good, because I feel like this list is going to thrive on a lot of instants and sorceries. I see this more as a spell slinging list. So before I get to the paradigm shift strategy, I feel like my graveyard's going to be pretty flush to where Thassa's wouldn't win on the spot. I could be wrong. It might still be a worthy inclusion, but we can put it to the side for now. And if we feel like paradigm shift is a good side strategy here to just simply get to the Thassa win, then we shall. Kicker is reduced by stuff like this too. True, Heimer, too true. Drown in Dreams is right. Drawn in Dreams? Hisako activated ability. Okay, so what we're gonna do now that I think we're sort of on the right path here, I'm just gonna look over many wizards with you. And then if you see any wizards that you really, really love, holler, but make it loud so I can hear you. All right? So we're gonna add Curse Catcher because Curse Catcher is pretty badass, I'm not gonna lie. That's a good card. I'm also gonna save and continue really quick to make sure that we get all of this. That's a function of tapped out that I really like. Target creature gains flying until the end of turn. Don't need that. Whenever an opponent shuffles his or her library, nope, don't need that. Delver of Secrets, man, what a card. I don't think we need Delver of Secrets though. I do like Enclave Cryptologist though. Enters the battlefield, scry, no, don't need that. Whenever a player plays a blue spell, you may pay 1 if you do. Target player puts the top 2 cards of... Whenever a player plays a blue spell, I feel like there's got to be some sort of crazy synergy here, some kooky strategy, but I'm not sure we want to do that. Target land you control becomes, nope, don't care about that. Hapless Researcher. Does anyone remember when this was a part of a pile for Protean Hulk? Does anyone remember Hapless Researcher? Let me know. Realm Right. Lands you control are a chosen type. Nah, that's okay. Overwhelmed Apprentice. Enters the battlefield. Nah, that's okay. Until the end of your turn, if a non-token creature would enter the battlefield, if it wasn't cast, exile it instead. Damn, dude, this merfolk means business. Until the end of your turn, if a non-token creature would enter the battlefield. That's really cool. I'm trying to think of the amount of scenarios where that's super relevant. It's obviously like a nice piece of control and just good to have on board. For as long as Mistcaller's on board, you know that like the reanimate strategy is not going to work. I'm just a little iffy. Target player puts the top 4 cards of their library into their graveyard. Honestly, Merfolk Secret Keeper would be kind of cool. I also love the Alan Williams art for this card. So I kind of want to add it. I kind of want to include this card. Putting the top 4 cards of the library and then just having a wizard on the end of that. I'm gonna humor me. I'm gonna put Merfolk Secret Keeper. Right? I'll just put it in the main. Just get that art going. Sometimes the art makes the deck win. All right. Siren Storm Chamber is another one. I think that this is just a little too... Counter-target spell that, or ability that targets you or creature you control, this is just not as valuable as I want it to be. I don't think Kaza is going to be a big deal for a lot of players. Magecraft, whenever you cast or copy instant or sorcery, target creature you control has base power. No, it's okay. Also, there's another side strategy that I think would be kind of cool. It would be nice to look up additional turn cards. This is a good one. It would be nice to look up additional turn cards for Kaza, because if you just rip an additional turn off the top to give you more leeway, to give you more play, that would be kind of cool. I actually don't mind the idea of having a few. I don't think a Kaza turn strategy is really great, but it's something that we could consider and or do. But a Pheto Alchemist is great because it's the cost reduction and it's untapping Kaza, right? So a Pheto Alchemist is good and also has Morph. Oh my god. Probably never going to use that, but it's there, right? It's there. Oh, I forgot to make it foil. Dragonstorm, blah blah blah, bloobity blue. Drown in the Dreams. Delver is crap in Modern. Damn. Mistcaller seems okay, but a bit meta-dependent. It is for sure meta-dependent. It is for sure meta-dependent. What if you cast instant choice? Nope, don't want that. Flash Frog Wizard enters the battlefield. Cephalid Illusionist. Does anyone remember Cephalid Illusionist? Does anyone remember Cephalid Illusionist? Probably not. Which is the one that's... Which is the one that surveils? That's what I want to see. Where's that wizard that surveils? Because I don't remember all of the visits. Okay, yeah. I don't remember all the visits, but I remember a majority of them. Reveal a blue card in your hand to morph this. Yeah, that's kind of cool. Look at someone's hand. Turn face up, look at target, look at the opponent's hand, that's it. You just 0-6, look at their hand. That's kind of goofy. It's kind of cool. I don't know that I care to do that, but that's kind of cool that we can do that. Oh my god, Fae of Wishes. You may choose a non-creature card you own from outside the game. Sorry. You think about a different format. Goblin Electromancer is essentially another Baral, right? Do we find that another Baral is necessary? I wouldn't say that Electromancer's great, but I'm going to put it to the sideboard for now, right? I don't think we need this much reduction, but I like it. I like it, so we'll put it to the side. Nope, not that. This is a new card. If an ability of a shaman or another wizard you control triggers, that ability triggers an additional time. Spellseeker? Spellseeker? Hold up. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, I can see her doing a lot of damage, and I can see her being useful for the triggered effect. I don't know how many shamans we necessarily have, but... Well, there's like Snapcaster Mage is one I can think of. The Dual Caster Mage, obviously. Like, doubling down on the effect is kind of cool. I kind of want to try Harmonic Prodigy. I'm sure that there's a combo baked into this. There's got to be a wizard that triggers that makes this super useful. Outside of the fact that, like, if someone does run Stifle in your group, or a Stifle effect, then you're just saying, do it again. Do that twice. Try to do that twice against me. We'll add it to the main board. I like that enough that I'll add it to the main board. I think it could be kind of cool, especially because we care about those synergies. But if an ability controls, you control triggers. If an ability of shaman or wizard, you control triggers. Okay. I was trying to see if it like also counted things that triggered off of those creatures. That would be kind of cool. Oh, Kaza, she seems good. Ooh, dork. Should we add this dork? Spend this mana only... No. As long as there are 4 more instant or sorcery cards in your graveyard? Nah, I don't really care about that. Draw 2 cards and discard 3 cards. Magus at the Bazaar. Ooh, Malevolent Hermit. Are you a wizard on both ends? Yeah, Malevolent Hermit. You are getting added. And then after we get through the wizard synergy, I think this is going to be the biggest discussion to have, is like what wizards are good and or relevant to the strategy. The rest of this deck is going to be fairly easy. We just want to add in all the relevant support cards. And of course, I will turn to you for your advice on this. I love Cephalids, Malevolent Hermit, Vadric, Astral, Archmage, Emeritus, I'm going to add right now. I know we're getting there, but Archmage, this is the one that has... from Strixhaven that has the... I won a game stealing Justin's Archmage for the Spellcraft. Magecraft, excuse me. And, oh god, it was so good. It was so good. What did I do? I led them on to believe that I was going for a separate win because I knew someone had a counter. I used Fork to target the counter, and then I had Archmage Emeritus stolen from Justin, and I used my own Reverberate to copy my Fork to fork a fork, to fork a fork, to draw my deck, to stop the counter, to win the game. It was so damn good. So yeah, I like Archmage a lot. I like Archmage a whole lot. We'll do that. Your maximum hand size is increased by 1. Oh my god. Enters the battlefield, tap target creature and opponent controls. Galvanic Alchemist, Dreadhorde Anarchist we just passed. It lets you cast spells from your graveyard, something like that, if you do damage to an opponent. Nin Pain Artist, X to target creature, that creature control draws X cards. That seems kind of dope, doesn't it? But not quite good enough. You kind of want to hit yourself with that, right? Yeah. In just a second, once I get through all the 2-drops, I'll love to just field the rest of your wizard suggestions, and I can see a lot of comments popping up now in regards to that. And if you guys ever watch these after the video is aired, just hang tight a good 24 hours to see the comment section appear. It does take YouTube a little while to like populate that for you. But I want to see if there's any more wizards that I haven't really looked at or have seen before, because I don't really research these. I think that Snapcaster makes a good deal of sense here, right? So Snapcaster Mage. That seems like a pretty easy include. Enters the battlefield, deals no. Add 2 mana, spend this mana only to activate abilities of artifacts. That seems cool. Spell Stutter Sprite. This one's cool. Enters the battlefield, counter target spell can convert a mana cost where the number of fairies you control. I think that that is going to be just adequate enough. I don't know if it like makes the cut, but I want to try the Spell Stutter Sprite. This is one I really like. And Glenalenda, is that her name? I think that that might be something we want to consider too. She's a little bit more costly though. But of course, I want to turn to you guys and get your opinions on any of these cards. Enters the battlefield. Oh, this is a new one, and this is actually one I was thinking would be kind of cool. Pronounce that for me. Triskadactyphile. You have no maximum hand size. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you have exactly 13 cards in your hand, you win the game. Obviously, you can also do pay 3 generic blue to draw a card. So this is kind of a cool wizard to have. But more importantly, if you're doing cost reduction effects, and all we're doing is, if all we're doing on our turn is holding instant speed countermeasures and or instant speed card quality card up effects, having this Triskadactyphile on the field is going to be, I never want to pronounce her name, is going to be good because we can actually get to the point where we just have 13 on our upkeep if no one removes her, right? Especially if we have like a blue Sun Zenith, there's something in our hand to just like, I'm going to put, you know, this many cards, and then you have that many cards. That's kind of cool. I think it's going to be a very particular scenario where you win with this, but for the most part, if you had nothing else to do with your mana, it's 4 mana to draw a card, coupled with the fact that it's reducing everything you pull, right? So that's really good. That's really good. I like this a lot. It seems good in my mind. It seems good in my mind. It could be horrible. I don't know. Okay, we're at that 3 mark. So what I'm going to do is turn to you all. I need the best wizard solutions you can think of. Graydon. Yo, what's up, Pat? Not much, man. Baby Jace. What is Baby Jace's name? Did I miss Baby Jace? Baby Jace is a looter, right? What is Baby Jace's name? Can someone let me know? So someone did mention Glenalendra. Thank you, Sarah. So Glenalendra. I will look at the cards you're suggesting now. So the thing that was sort of off-putting for me was the fact that it's 4 CMC, but what I like about Glen is that it's a persister, right? So flying, pay a blue, sacrifice Glen, counter target non-creature spell. Then you also get on top of that the cost reduction. But it's a persister, so when it dies, yes, sacrifice. It'll come back as a 1/1, and then you can do it all again, which is probably what she'll be best at that point. I don't mind Glenalendra. I do think that there's a home for Glenalendra here. I don't know if she's like a staple or anything, but I kind of want to try her. Fisher Wizard is my pet card. Cards about to get torn up, man. You may discard a card if you do draw a card. I think that it's fine, but I'm not sure I'm going to include. If it was 1 red, obviously. But I do want to look at. There are 2 wizards that surveil, but they're both Dimir. Isn't there a red? She's not a wizard then, but there's like a red creature that came out in Modern Horizons 2 that has the surveil. Like I kind of wanted to fool with her. We'll look that up. But this is one where it attacks. You may cast instant sorcery with a converted mana cost of X or less, cost less than or equal to Dreadhorde Arcanist's power. So this is only as good as you have 1 CMC spells. So I'm not really sure that we're there yet to make that determination. Galvanic Alchemist. Soulbound. As long as it's untap this creature. That's a lot. That's a very high cost though. Both the cast and the activated. I'm going to avoid the Galvanic Alchemist for now. But I think it's fine. Baron, Master Wizard, and Dockside. Oh. Well, if you just want infinite mana, sure. I mean, like, we don't have an outlet for this. But Baron is also a wizard, right? So, one thing we do want to include, though, is the Dockside Extortionist. Mind you, it's not essential we have infinite mana in this deck because we're not really relying on any strategies for it. If we do the Underworld Breach thing, yes, we can do Blue Sun Zenith if we have infinite mana. Blue Sun Zenith, you draw your deck, goes Blue Sun Zenith gets shuffled back, and then you use any card quality effect at this point to put it back into your hand. You draw your deck, right? That's what you would do with infinite mana, presumably. We do need to get there, right? You can make enough mana, but the mainline strategies I was going for were Naramea, Ghostly Flicker kind of style loops, and or a loop with our Dualcaster Mage and copy, create token copies. Making infinite mana, if she was an actual outlet, I would be more interested in like that as a goal. Dockside is really just value. And any sort of blink effect or return to hand effect we have, like a Chain of Vapor, you know, obviously, is going to be very useful down the line. We could just use that to double down on value when we need the mana. We don't necessarily need infinite mana until we're going for it. And if we're going for it, we've assembled Underworld Breach. And we have Underworld Breach, we don't need Baron and Dockside to do the thing. We've got other things to do that same thing, is what I'm saying. Okay. Baby Jace, Patron Wizard. Oh my god, my chat just like skipped so much. C Scryer for Dork. No, I'm good on that. If someone can give me the name of that Jace, I would love that. Apheto Alchemist goes infinite with Illusionist Bracers. I am sure you're right. I don't want to play for Apheto Alchemist necessarily. I think Illusionist Bracers are not good with our creature. I'm okay on Illusionist Bracers here. But you can. Archmage, Stormkiln, Bergie, just joined. Haven't seen what you have on... Oh, okay. Thanks, Ryan. Stormkiln. So Stormkiln. Is this what I think it is? The dude that make... Yeah. You make treasures. You make treasures. I'm a little iffy on this 4-drop. I would rather draw cards. Again, we don't need like infinite mana or a lot of mana. Bergie's kind of cool though, because Bergie's less. It's a shaman. It's a shaman, so it does the thing with our girl. Whenever you cast a spell, creatures you control boast twice. I'm okay on both of these. I'm okay on both of these for now. I might be wrong. Maybe we need the mana, and you know I'm crazy here. Triskaidefile could be good with the commander that draws X spells. Yeah, right. Draw spells. I want to look that up. Are you asking for a final wizard solution? Patron Wizard? I'll look at Patron Wizard. Dragon Rage Channeler. So let me just see if Dragon Rage Channeler is a wizard. It's not. It's not, but I really want it to be. It's a shaman. Man, what a good effect on a 1-drop. If she was a wizard, I would be all over that. I would be all over that card. So damn good. Nibble Obstruction. Jace Vryn's Prodigy. Let me just make sure this boy's a wizard. Did he get his degree? I don't know. I just passed him. Thank you for Jace Vryn's Prodigy. Thank you. I always forget his name. One of our guys used to play Jace as the commander. See why it's forgettable. Sorry, Jace. He's okay in the 99. Baby Jace is Jace Vryn's Prodigy. Thank you. What about Breaking Wave for untapping then tapping again? Yeah. Let's find out. You may play Breaking Wave anytime you could play an instant if you pay 2 more. Comes in foil. I love a good invasion foil. Simultaneously untap all tapped creatures and tap all untapped creatures. It's a lot of words. That's kind of cool. So, I mean, I think that, you know, I don't know. I feel like Dramatic Reversal is probably going to be the thing we go for, or things like Dramatic Reversal that just do all of it. Right? And you can add like an Isochron Scepter in there if you want. I can't say there's a good reason for Isochron Scepter right now, but I can see a good reason for this and a Cyclonic Rift. I'm just going to get rid of some of these basic things just that are weighing me down, bogging me down. I love all these suggestions, though. Thank you guys for these suggestions. Genuinely. Some of the best suggestions I've ever seen from a live audience. And I'm not just saying that. So what I want to do now is look up all of the card quality effects. All of them. hit me up. What are your favorite draw 4, place 3 back on top of your deck? What are your favorite brainstorm effects? What are your favorite scry 2, buckle my shoe? All of those effects, just give them to me, every single one. And it's really the wording that we need, because I want to look at the ones, in my mind, Kaza says anything that's like 4 CMC and under, instant speed, card quality effect, is good and potentially usable, because it's 3 at that point. So it really depends on the amount of work that spell is doing for you. But if you can cost reduce it and get to pop off and just like get value, that's amazing. And there was some 4 drops that we looked at earlier at the start of this video that were sorcery speed, so not necessarily the same. And also, I just want to get in and just do the Heat Shimmer, Twin Flame, right? That sort of thing. We've got the Ghostly Flicker, in case you don't know, with Narumea. Ghostly Flicker and Narumea is infinite mana, infinite creatures, right? This is also fine. What it doesn't enable is the ability to have haste on these tokens, so you're not really ramming these into anyone, you just have the bodies and the mana. I think that this is fine, and I think that we can look up other exile target effects. Because I don't know what existent is it, right? Exile target, return, battlefield. And then obviously I want to incorporate all the brainstorms and all that stuff that you're suggesting now. Wow, red does not add anything to this pie. Did I even hit red? Okay, wow. Okay. I don't think we are gonna go for like an Essence Flux type effect. Exile a target creature you control, then return it to the battlefield under its owner's control. I'm sorry, this doesn't make infinite Narus. I'm lying to you. I don't know, I'm thinking of Dual Caster Mage. When you target this with Narumea, you basically just flicker her in and out. You get a copy of this, you flicker her in and out to keep copying this to make infinite mana, yada yada yada. You're not gonna make tokens with this. I'm strictly lying to you. So that we might nix unless we have like a Sun-Scorched Desert and this, and I'm not really planning on adding anything of that nature. I do want to look at create a copy though. Create copy. This seems important. Create copy. Yeah. Okay. So what do we have? We have, I'm just going to throw all of everything you say. Sight Unseen. Preordain, never heard of it. That's not true. Overwhelmed Apprentice with Dual Caster Mage and Ghostly Flicker is a mill combo. That sounds really dope, actually, Blake. Yeah, Mission Briefing is another snappy with Surveil. I will put Mission Briefing on the side. I feel like Mission Briefing usually doesn't make the cut, but I will put it on the side for now. Mission Briefing. And, okay, so I know I want Brainstorm. And obviously, card quality, but also higher CMC card quality effects that you can think of. Psychic Transfer, more control package. I'll look up Psychic Trance real quick. Yeah. I can spell, I swear to God. I swear, Psytran. Psychic Transfer. There's 2. Until the end of turn, wizards you control gain counter target spell. That's so dope. Oh, that is so dope. That is so, so cool. I love this so much. Yeah. Yes. Yes. I mean, look, you just need another wizard, right, to do the thing. This is really, really cool. That's such a unique effect. I can't spell today. I'm so sorry. Oh my God. Thank you. Thank you for correcting those. There you go. All right. Yeah, I didn't put in Impulse. We didn't do Frantic Search. Love it. I love all these cards you're suggesting. Time Spiral is the wheel, if I'm not mistaken, right? It's like it's essentially Time Twister, right? Yeah, Exile Time Spiral. Each player shuffles their hand and graveyard into their library. Yeah, you can untap lands. That's kind of cool. I don't really want to give anyone that kind of. I don't want to give people draw. I'm going to try to avoid any wheels in this list. I don't really. I can see this list operating well with wheels, but I don't know if I want to do that. Do you guys want to operate with wheels in this list? Wheel of Fortune, Time Twister, that kind of stuff. Do you guys want to? because I can see us going fast enough to where we can get that to pop off early game and kind of get away with it without giving too much value and sort of recovering our hand. But I don't necessarily want to do that and stunt us, right? Because if I do a time spiral and I replenish everyone's hand and there's a lot of other control players at the table and I'm trying to go for a win, I've just given them 7 more resources, right? Who's to say what they had in their hand at that point? But generally speaking, if it's going mid-range, there's maybe like 2 to 4 cards in anyone's hand at any given time, unless they've had some really great draw engine set up and they've got 5 or 6, right? Or whatever. So time spiral, any wheel, mid-game, is going to be pretty damning. And I really see time spiral as a mid-game wheel, despite, you know, the cost reduction we have. I'm not entirely certain it's something I want to go for. Although we are in the colors that have a lot of wheels. If Hull Breacher was still a playable card, I would say 100% hell yes. But Hull Breacher's not. So it's lacking that synergy, coupled with the fact that I just don't want to give value away. I generally avoid wheels unless what I'm doing is hyper proactive and wins on the spot. Personally. Careful Study. I'll add it to... No. I think I know what Careful Study is. The title of YouTube says Kaza instead of Kaza. Yeah. Have you consider? Stop! No. We could put consider in though. Twin Flame effects are dual caster Naru option, but I don't think it's best here. I think it's fine here. The thing is, I want to run alternative effects. We'll talk about it in a second. For Naru, it doesn't work, unfortunately. Well, then, fuck Naru. Dig Through Time. Yeah, we forgot Dig Through Time, didn't we? Look at us. Couple of chuckleheads. Read the runes. Oh my god, there's so many cards. Read the runes. It just seems like someone just saying, read the room. You get what I'm saying, right? It's funny. It's funny in my head. I'm sorry. Pull from Tomorrow. Finale of... What is this finale? Finale of Revelation. Again, I'm just taking what you're saying, guys. You can literally say anything at this point, but we're ultimately going to cut some things down. Graydon says, "Hey dude, just want to stop in and say you're awesome. Thanks. Keep on doing what you're doing. Also, how do you feel about Shirai Shizo Caretaker's commander? Is this the black mono black commander? I'm about to build it, so that's why I asked." Thank you, Graydon. I don't know. I don't really have any thoughts on build the list, and then I guess we'll see. Proof is in the pudding, they say. But if it's the one that brings back like 1 CMCers, I'm not entirely certain it has a huge place in the meta. I would need to see how it operates though. Plagiarize? What did I do? What do you mean plagiarize? I didn't do anything. I didn't plagiarize. Sure, we'll put it in for now. Foil. Bam. Talarian Winds. Winds of Change. Not many wheels. Jacob, you're saying you don't want many wheels? Like you don't want the windfall, you don't want wheels. I'm curious though, I'm genuinely curious to hear everyone's thoughts on wheels. Wheels are really not good? Is that what RNG means? I don't know what RNG means. It's really fun watching someone's thought process value judgments for brewing. Oh god, Dean, why? Why? You can either grief them or give them gas. Yeah, it really sucks, and I've seen people lose games by just Wheel of Fortune. Now I have my combo and every single solution to stop you. It's like it's a luck of the draw sort of scenario. But the thing is, the person who's going to come out on top is the person with the highest probability of coming out on top. And I mean to say the guy who's been playing proactively and has just burned through 20 cards, like their deck is designed to do that. And you're like, okay, my deck has 86 cards left. Yours has 89. Yours has 93. You didn't even start. And this guy's got 72 cards left in his deck. Well, when he rips 7 off the top of his deck, odds are likely he's going to see shit he needs. The proactive decks, like you're just going to give it away if you're not pushing a win. So I don't really like using wheels. The thing is though, she can make the wheel like 1 blue, 1 red, right? So it feels good, and not in the case of Time Spiral, clearly, but this would be double blue at most. I don't think we're going to ever have that many wizards, but Treasure Cruise is cool. It also has Delve, right? Right? Fact or fiction. And ideally, like, I like that Time Swirl untaps your lands. So, like, more things that untap your lands, too. All these suggestions are fine. They all have a place. They all have a home. Jessica's Will, sure. We're also going to look at our ritual fast mana in a second as well. I do care about adding and including fast mana in this list. Only if you go for a wheel breach combo. I don't like doing the wheel breach combo either. I don't like the idea of going Wheel of Fortune, because the general combo, when the card was introduced on World Breach, everyone was like, oh, LED, Wheel of Fortune. I'm like, okay. Everyone is seeing like 7 new cards every single turn. You're nixing 3. Like, you'll need to be able to keep up with a board of people watching you do this. So sometimes you'll just get away with it, but for a lot of other players, they're gonna have solutions to just murk you. So I don't really like that combo in general, the wheel breach, but it is the thing you can do, namely with Lion's Eye Diamond. I think we added Lion's Eye Diamond. It's kind of essential just to dump your hand for the breach pile. If you get there early, you'll need the additional cards to exile. That's the only reason LED is good. The 3 mana is also really good, don't get me wrong, but dumping your hand to get the exile chaff is super important sometimes. I'm using the deck's goal is to reduce the cost of Worldfire. Step through for commander cycling. I believe we have step through in the list already. But good talk. Good talk. Thanks for it. I don't know if it's giving opponents more cards is necessarily worth the risk, but there are really pros and cons either way. I guess, I know from personal experience, I don't really run wheels. I've actually sold my wheels. Like, I don't use them anymore because none of the lists I play are really that proactive, other than Rograk and Tavesh. But any other list, I'm like, it's inadvisable. Like, if someone runs a wheel against me, I'm happy. It's so good. It's so great. But I don't need to do it. I sort of build lists that can work around. I will play for my own value. I'm not trying to give other people value. Couldn't you flicker Kaza and Naru Maya to make your next instant sorcery cost infinitely less? Kaza has haste. Yeah, I guess you could, right? I guess you could. She does have haste. But the thing is, you do need to have like X amount of wizards. You would need to have infinite visits. Frantic Search could be like a ritual in this deck. Yeah, it really could be. It really could be. I know it's not optimized option, but did you consider Mizzix? Mizzix? Like Mizzix Mastery? Which Mizzix? This one? I haven't considered this one, but Mizzix Mastery, exile target card that's an instant or sorcery from your graveyard. You may, for each card exiled this way, copy it. I kind of like Mizzix Mastery as like a potential value card, but I don't think we're there. Epiphany at the Drown Yard, Turnabout. I'm loving these suggestions, by the way. Choose target artifact, creature, or land. Tap all untap permanents of the chosen type. I'm not loving this one. This one's interesting. It's like a weird control-y thing. Oh, there's an IDW version? Oh, shit. Oh, well, now we gotta run it, right? Do you have Riona Fire Dancer in the deck? It could be a good addition. Don't know if wheels are useful just with just Narset in a list. We didn't even add Narset. I mean, we could add Narset, Harder of Veils. Is that her name? This the one? Yeah, we'll go for that stained glass version. Drown in Dreams, Cerulean Wisp, draw and untap Kaza. Cerulean Wisp. Oh, I didn't mean to add it. I wanted to look at it. Sorry. I believe you, though. I believe you. It's a card that will draw and untap Kaza. Target creature becomes blue until end of turn. Untap that creature, draw a card. So she's not Izzet anymore? Is my deck legal still? Cerulean Wisp. Here. I want to look at all of these. There's so many odd synergies you just get to play with, and then we'll look at the deck overall. I do want to add like all the tutors, all the fast mana, all that fun stuff, but I do want to just look at a handful of these effects, right? What's good? What's good? Gain control of target creature with converted mana cost of 3 or less until end of turn. Untap that creature, it gains haste. Okay, don't need that. Cerulean Wisp is interesting. Tap target permanent or untap target permanent. Entwine. Now, you don't get to draw a card, but that's kind of dope, isn't it? And the entwine cost is 1 less. Tap X creatures. I don't know like how vital it is to untap her for 1 blue, but you do break, you do get a card back, so it's kind of useful. Tap or untap target artifact, creature, or land. We've got Dramatic Reversal on the list. Not to say that we use Isochron Scepter. This was one that was suggested. Draw X cards if X is 10 or more. Instead, shuffle your graveyard into your library, draw X cards, and tap up to 5 lands, and you have a maximum hand size. No maximum hand size for the rest of the game. Oh my god, that's so many things. So many things. It's interesting. I'm not sure it sticks, but I like it. It's interesting. Again, I don't know if X is going to be 10 or more. We don't got that many rituals, but I'm hoping, you know. Untap target creature, draw a card, refocus. Ooh, I like this more. No, I don't like it more. The 1-drop is better. Return target creature to its owner's hand, untap 2 lands. Snap, baby. Snap. Snap is the shit for this deck. I do like it. I do like it. Is there a thing we can do with Wrangle or... No, not really. Act of Treason, gain control of target creature until end of turn. Do we add Zealous Conscripts? Do we add like a Zealous kind of combo? Why am I thinking that? There's combos with these cards, right? Gain control of target creature till the end of turn. Like a Kiki Jiki Zealous thing? No, we don't want to do that. Don't listen to me. Don't listen. Suggest better cards, and then we'll put them in. Frantic Search we've already done. I just want to see what kind of untappy shenanigans we actually have in our repertoire. So, gain control of target creature. All these gain controls will work on Kaza as well. Like, we can gain control of her, untap her, sure. That's kind of cool. Even though you control the creature, you can regain control of the creature. It's just a thing you can do. Counter target non-creature spell, untap up to 3 lands. Ooh, Unwind. Is Unwind tech for Kaza? Maybe. Maybe it is. I don't know. But I would like the mana off of that. Right? We'll definitely make mana off of this. Just having Kaza means that this is a 1 generic 1 blue counterspell, right? Untap up to 3 lands. This sounds amazing. Just tap another land in response to float some mana, and then you'll have mana to do whatever the heck else you want afterwards. I kind of like that. Target player gains control of up to 3 target non-attacking creatures until end of turn. I don't know. I think we're past the point of no return here. I feel like this is not Kaza territory anymore. Oh no. Gain control of target creature? No. There was a search I was trying to do before I was so rudely interrupted. It's not true. You guys are great. No one interrupted me. I interrupted myself. I get excited about these things. Bam. Okay. So it's really just Heat, Shimmer, and Twin Flame, huh? Is it really just Heat, Shimmer, and Twin Flame? Do none of these operate with haste enabling? Blue's really SOL on that, huh? Whenever a non-token creature enters the battlefield under... That's kind of cool. That's cute, but it's not necessary. Whenever you cast this, copy it for each time you've cast your commander. This game... Oh, I don't care about that. I don't like these spells. These spells aren't good. Oh, Stolen Identity. Oh, okay. Okay, I'm gonna turn to you guys. I need you to help me land back on Earth. Comet Storm could serve as a removal alternative win con sometimes. Could. Turnabout is good with High Tide. I bet Gadwick the Wizened could draw you some cards and also helps control the board with cantrips. Gadwick the Wizened. Gadwick the Wizened. Enters the battlefield, draws X cards. Whenever you cast a blue spell, tap target non-land permanent. I really wish we could tap them lands down. But you know what? Gadwick's kind of cute. Gadwick's kind of cute. I like Gadwick. Not enough to include, but we'll put Gadwick off to the side. Because it's like we're not getting a cost reduction on Gadwick. Are we? Is he tribal instant? That would be amazing. Knowledge exploitation for Peer into the Abyss or recurring insight. Knowledge exploitation? You're just saying words now. Prowl. You may cast this. Oh yeah, if you dealt damage with a rogue. Is Kaza a rogue? No, she's a wizard, human wizard. God, if she was a rogue, that would have been so good. I mean, she's doing the cost reduction anyways, but you get what I'm saying. Search target opponent's library for instant or sorcery. You may cast that card without paying its mana cost. Knowledge exploitation. You better hope you don't see. Here's my thing. Okay. I kind of want to look these up. Search opponent's library. Search opponent's library. Is that it though? Is that the only one? Because that's pretty dope. I like stealing value. I love this idea. I really love this idea. Is bribery even legal in Commander? Oh my god. Search target opponent's library for a creature card. Put that card onto the battlefield under your control, then shuffle your library. I like bribery a lot. Bribery is a very good card. Search target opponent's library for an artifact card. Put it onto the battlefield and play under your control. Wow, blue just has this stuff. I didn't know. It's another thing blue does I didn't know about. I like knowledge exploitation a lot, but my issue is like if I'm gonna run cards like Fork and Reverberate and Twin Flame or not Twin Cast rather, Narset's Reversal, like I'm just trying to steal those cards that I know they're going for anyways. I would rather do that and just have a copy of it and not see a 7 CMC card in my deck when I'm using their ad nauseum on top of their ad nauseum and then countering their ad nauseum. Does that make sense? Like, I'll let them do the thing they want to do. These cards are interesting. I think bribery is kind of cool in the fact that, like, I can bribe out your dock side. I bribe out your Thassa. I can bribe out your Gilded Drake. I can bribe out your whatever of value you can think of would be kind of cool. Acquire, there's no artifact that's really game, winning I can think of. But what I want to do is just add a few fast mana pieces. Mana Crypt, Soul Ring, Mana Vaults, maybe? Who knows? I like it. Mox Opal, Mox Diamond, Mox, Lotus Petal, Jeweled Lotus. Ooh, Jeweled Lotus is kind of shitty here, isn't it? It's another Lotus Petal, right? No, we do it. Here's why we do it. If it means that we can get Kaza down on turn 1, we like it, right? We like it. We'll try it. If we don't like it, we don't like it. We don't keep it. But if we like it, then we keep it. Does that make sense? I think we're rolling with a pretty low CMC count for the most part, and the cost reduction is going to go miles here. So I don't know how many rocks we actually want. I think that you could do the Signet, right? What is the Signet? What is the Signet for this card? I don't ever remember the Signets. It's just the name. Is it? Jesus. No, I don't want the Signet. It's the Talisman. That's it. What's the name of the Talisman for Izzet? I don't want the filtery ones. I just want the mana now. Talisman of Creativity? Sure. We'll do that. And we can do Rite of Flame, Simian Spirit Guide, right? Stuff that's going to get Kaza down on turn 1, right? We kind of want to fast track that. Rite of Flame doesn't do that, but Rite of Flame will help with other spells in the deck. Jessica's Will is kind of cool. We added Jessica's Will. I don't know if like a Pyretic Ritual, Desperate Ritual is entirely necessary. Like how many red spells are going to be casting? Mystic Sanctuary. Did I not add Mystic Sanctuary? Mystic Sanctuary. We'll make a spot. Probably cut a mountain, to be perfectly honest. I don't think we need all the mountains we have. Okay. Seagate Restoration would also be a great card here. It's in the list already. Zealous Conscript, Naramea, and Ghost of the Figure will steal the board. That's actually really dope. That's actually really, really dope. So Kaza's ability wouldn't stack. I think you could just keep stacking her ability by flickering. Oh, I see what you mean. I see what you mean. All right. So far as what the question was concerned with Naramea flickering and like stacking the next spell cost. It's the amount of wizards you control while resolving this ability, right? So, cast Blue Sun Zenith and draw your deck and Breach, yeah. You could also use Rewind and in addition to Unwind. Rewind? Rewind. It is a little more expensive. Like, I never consider 3 CMC counters good. I'm a little iffy on this one. I would rather we just stick with some of the other ones, like the delay and all the basic ones. We'll add counters in a second. Desperate Ritual. Yeah, I'm not. Mox Amber's good. I'm not so high on the Desperate Pyretic Seething Song. That stuff, we can just ignore that. Rite of Flame is still fine, though. Rite of Flame, like a turn 1 Rite of Flame and an Arcane Signet is still fine, right? Galvanic Iteration from, I'm sorry. What was the Pyre one? I like the Pyre one. Cathartic Pyre? Was that what it was? Cathartic Pyre. I like Cathartic Pyre. So far as card quality / removal. Thank you. That was a really good suggestion off the bat. And someone was suggesting, I just read it. I don't see it anymore. I'm sorry. It's never going to happen. We're never going to add it. Is it a Signet? Dragon Ray Channeler, Talisman of Crate. Thank you. Chrome Mox, Arcane Signet. Gemstone Caverns for turn 1 Kaza. Yeah, we have Gemstone Caverns in here as well. And again, if you guys want to follow along and play test this with me in a second, we can do that together. We have that possibility. Mana Crypt's not found. Oh my god, what? No, Mana Crypts exist. It does. Trust me. High Tide is a good ritual. You're running some untapped lands. Things. I don't know. Yeah. High Tide is a good ritual, but my thing is, isn't it islands I control? And how much, what are we really going to do with High Tide? Like, what do we really need to do with High Tide? Whenever taps an island for mana, I mean, we have 2 islands, and I'm good on High Tide. I'm not sure that this is a list that necessarily needs High Tide, personally. Jaya's Immolating Inferno. Jaya's Immolating Inferno. That sounds like a real crazy card. Jaya's Immolating Inferno, X damage to each of up to 3 targets. Wow, yeah, that seems like a way to end a game, doesn't it? Don't I wish that were instant speed? This is fine. I think that this is solely a finisher, right? Is this how this is reading to me? This is just a finisher. I think if we just had, this, in my mind, like, I would rather just the Banefire, I guess, right? I would rather the Banefire with the Underworld Breach at this point, because this way it's uncounterable, and, if I've got the Breach pile and I've established my graveyard, this could be the kill card instead, right? And it doesn't matter if I have a Legendary out at all. You just, you can just do this repeatedly. You need to exile 9 cards, but you'll be able to do that. Isn't Baby Jace Vryn's product? It's in there. Tidal Bore, Git Probe, Mental Misstep. Yeah, let's go ahead and add in some utilities. All of the utilities. Let's add them. What I want to do is also look up search library in these colors. We already added our Gamble, right? That's the main one. But so far as blue search cards are concerned, I think it really comes down to like Merchant Scroll, something tutor. I don't ever remember the blue tutors. The one with the vial on it. Mystical tutor. Yes. Mystical tutor sounds good. These are all fine. I don't know what other great tutors are in the world of Izzet though. Did I just add Merchant Scroll? Moon Silver Key. We don't necessarily need Moon Silver Key, so I will avoid that. But Pyre of Heroes? Pyre of Heroes with a Wizard synergy. We can kind of flush out our own strategy here, right? Let me look at our Wizards, actually. Pyre of Heroes, though, is kind of a cool one. And someone was mentioning, to put in, not Gadwick, but the other blue Baron whatever, right? That's a wizard, a 3-drop wizard. So Pyre of Heroes could go directly into that off of Kaza, right? So if we had Dockside, we could make infinite mana, if that was necessary. But it could be something we do, right? It could be something we do with Pyre. So I'm going to just add that for now. Solve the equation. I just want to add the tutors for now, and then I'm going to add our counter interaction suite, right? And there's a lot of cool ones I want to incorporate, and I'm definitely open to suggestions in that regard. I don't know, fabricate, search your library for an artifact, reveal it, put it in your hand. I don't know how many of these we actually need, right? What is winning us the game here? What is winning us the game in this deck? And it looks like it's predominantly creatures, instants, and sorceries, right? Or sorceries, really. Imperial Recruiter is gonna be good. I don't like the cost of Imperial Recruiter. I'm gonna refrain from Imperial Recruiter. Is there an intuition pile that works sans Savine's Reclamation? You would grab Lion's Eye Diamond, Underworld Breach, and what? Name me the intuition pile that works, and then we can go with it. Spellseeker. My God, did I add Spellseeker? Did I add Spellseeker? What is wrong with us? What is wrong with us? We need Spellseeker, guys. Muddle the Mixture finds Breach. Oh, you beautiful. You beautiful you. Antonio. You are right. Muddle the Mixture. We can muddle. We can muddle. We can afford to muddle. It's a 3 CMC tutor, but we can muddle. As much as I love Mass of the Moon, doesn't it only pull us Dockside here? Mass of the Moon can pull us to Dockside or like an opposing Thassa, I guess. But I don't know the scenario where it's going to work with this particular brew, where that's going to be good. I don't think any of these artifact tutors are necessary. Didn't we add Word of Invention though? Just because it was like high CMC'd. Am I wrong? Okay, never mind. We didn't. For the better. For the better. Merchant Scroll, not available. Lies. Lies. Oh my God. Did I just spell it wrong? Hold up. Merchant Scroll's a card. Merchant Scroll. It's a card. Merchant Scroll. There we go. I do want to add our countermeasures, our counter suite, and then we'll be good to sort of like finagle this list. So, Muddle to make sure Lord Dracus Dockside return target permanent to his hand. Intuition. This much yeah. So, guys and girls, at this point, we're over an hour in. We've got a lot of cards here. We're going to need to cut some cards. But this is every blue player's favorite part of any deck tech. Counterspells. Counterspells. Don't lie to me. Name your favorite counterspells. Name them. And any unique ones that would work well with Kaza. But what I want to do is fork. I don't know how many... Copy... These are here. Let's just do this really quick. The Fork Reverberate might not make the cut, but we will probably go for some like Izzet version or blue version of these same cards. I just want to get them in the list because I really love working with these personally. I know they're not for everyone. You can take these out if you like, but I consider them counterspells, better counterspells, generally speaking. So counter target instant sorcery spell that targets you. No, that's not good. Teach by example is one that we can use, right? When you cast your next insert, no, that's not good. Twin cast though, I want to copy the ones on the stack. Twin cast, sure. Again, I think we're predominantly going to be in blue, so I don't know if we need all of these, but I do want to incorporate some of these. Gotta turn my head a little bit there. All right. Gotta turn my head this way too. Copy target insert sorcery spell. You may. Ooh. Aftermath. Copies our instant source spell and you choose new targets with a copy. This is a sick card. Refuse deals damage to target spell's controller equal to the spell's converted mana cost. I don't know if refuse is good, but cooperate's pretty dope. This is the top end of this card is kind of crap. Refuse deals damage to target spell's controller. I mean, you could, I don't know, you do that to stop their, you do that to their Adnons, just do 5, and then you can sort of rip this out of your grave to copy it. That seems kind of dope, actually. I don't know. We'll put it in. I like this a lot. It will never be played in any other deck, except perhaps this one. Okay. All right, I'm ready. I'm ready for those counter spells now. Ready for those counter spells. Archmage Ascension repeatedly to... Archmage Ascension? What do you mean repeatedly? At the beginning of your end step, if you drew 2 or more cards, you may put a quest counter. I don't know if we're gonna... I don't know about that. I don't know about that. I could be wrong. Okay, so yes, I see Red Elemental Blasts. I see Pyroblast. I don't know if we need both, but we'll put them in for now. Counterflux? I'll put it in. I asked you for your favorite counter spells. Wizard's Retort. Oh god. Swan Song. Thank you. That's one I remember. Omniscience makes Storm easier. Yeah, right. It does. Deflecting Swat. Fierce Guardianship. These are good ones. These are good ones. You're suggesting some good ones. All the free ones. You want Force of Will. I did Force of Will already. Miscast is it's a favorite of mine. I love that. And Flusterstorm's pretty dope too. I'm going to have to agree with you. Tails End, just because you said it. It's going in. Both Forces. I think we did Pact already. I don't think I did Force of Negation yet. Force of Negation is only off turn, but I mean, it's a free counterspell, right? Who needs Kaza? Mental Misstep, I think I might have already added, but I could be wrong. I'm just going to add it. If we see two, we'll obviously take out a copy of Mental Misstep. I personally like Spell Snare, but I'm not sure it makes the cut in this particular brew. Nimble Obstructionist, I'm not too high on. Wizard's Retort, did I not add that? I think Matthias. Sunken Field, Cavern of Souls, Narset's Reversal is one of my favorites. It's in, Kyle. Forbid has buyback. Oh, yeah, Forbid also has really cool art. Wait up. Got this cool invocation. You have to discard 2 cards, but I'm okay on Forbid. I do want to do Delay, though. I don't think anyone suggested Delay, but we should probably run Delay. Dispel Days. Mind you, again, like, because I want to look at Change Target as well. Wait up, Change Target spell. We'll do instant here. Let me some divert. Yeah. Change the target of target spell with a single target unless it's controlled. Rebound target spell, which targets only a single player. Swerve. Change the target spell with a single target. I think that we've got the best one here. We could also make a case for Ricochet Trap. We can also make a case for Ricochet Trap here. But let's just keep going down the counter bin. Cavern of Souls to counter their countermeasures? Maybe. I wouldn't, though. Misdirection? I'm good on Misdirection. Narset's Reversal is fine if you can steal an Adnaz. It's fine if you just steal anything. It's fine if you steal a Demonic Tutor. It's fine. It's really just, the way it reads is you stop them from doing what they want to do, at least in Narset's Reversal part. They get it back, but then you also just get value. Or you can fight on a pile, on the stack, pretty well with Narset's Reversal. Pending mana, like what people have left. Izzet Charm, Negate, and Spell Pierce. These are kind of common cards to battle on the stack. We can add all of these. This is fine. I don't know about Izzet Charm necessarily, but I'll add it for now. Reiterate is nice as a copy spell, and you can combo with it, but I'm not sure it's something we're going to go for. Thanks for the awesome videos. Hold on, EDM team. Glad I could make it live before the playoffs tonight. Oh, Dylan Davis, thanks for joining. I appreciate it. And again, if you guys are free this afternoon, be sure to join the Discord for some games on it at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Is Arcane Denial good? Is this the one that lets them draw? Counter target spell, its controller draws up 2 cards at the beginning of the next turn's upkeep. Is this good? I think it's fine. You know what we didn't add? Mystic Remora, Ristic Study. I think that goes without saying that those are kind of staples. And there's really no great draw effects in red I can really think of that I want to incorporate outside of maybe the Faithless Looting, but I don't, Faithless is fine. We'll do Faithless Looting. Let's see here. Deflecting Swat, Boseiju, who shelters all. Ricochet Trap. Yeah, Ricochet Trap. We'll add Ricochet Trap, Gustavo, and then we'll go ahead and try to perfect this puppy. Let's go. So we get to shave a lot. We got to shave a lot here. Pact of Negation, Spell... Oh, yeah. Are those, did it come out as one word? Pact of Negate. Pact of Negation. That was like one of the first ones we put in. Let's try this now. Okay. How could we forget the fish? Ragavan is good enough here? Oh my god, is Ragavan good enough? We got so many cards to cut. We have so many. Is Ragavan good enough here? I would say maybe Ragavan is good enough here. But I do want to get to the point where we start doing the thing. Spell Burst is cute here. Spell Burst? Spell Burst. Baby's first Spell Burst. Converted cost. Okay, so we've got a lot to look at and a lot to cut. Let's make those dreams come true. Pyre of Heroes. So let me see here. Okay, so we've got a lot of stuff to cut, and I'm not necessarily certain that Pyre of Heroes makes it. We'll start with the artifacts here. Because we've got a lot of wizards, right? So we can go into Archmage, we can go into Narumea. With all the copy effects, we can actually draw our deck with Archmage, right? Simian Spirit Guides to ramp, Dual Caster Mage to combo out, Brawl Chief of Compliance is great. A Pheto Alchemist is fine, I don't think Harmonic Prodigy makes the cut, despite the fact that I love her. We do get to copy things twice with Narumea, Dual Caster Mage, Spell Seeker, Thassa's Oracle. Oh, Harmonic Prodigy, you tried. Malevolent Hermit is pretty dope, and I like it. I think we need to really consider what... Ooh, oh my god, I didn't even know. There's too many cards for this to be a viable strategy in my mind. And what's odd is that there's too many cards that I don't even think we need all of these. Like, I didn't think we'd find enough relevant wizards, but we found enough. Even Gildrake's an honorary wizard today. Same with the Spirit Guide. Spellstutter Sprite is, I'm not super high on this, but counter-target spell with converted X or less, where X is the number of fairies you control. It's always going to be 1, right? Counter-target spell with a converted mana cost of X or less. Yeah, we don't have enough fairies for me to say that's super relevant, and how many 1-drop spells are really going to stunt us, you know what I mean? But Pyre of Heroes is still pretty gas in my opinion. You know, the only one I'm iffy on here so far as artifacts is concerned is the Jeweled Lotus. Also, the Mox Opal is not great in this scenario. One thing about Jeweled Lotus, though, is it does allow us to get Kaza out that much sooner, but I'm not even sure that's a huge, like, huge importance to us. Now, I do have to state that this is an Underworld Breach build, so any card that can be in the graveyard is of benefit. So Jeweled Lotus is enabling an Underworld Breach play. So I still like it for that, if anything, at least for that. A Mox Opal just doesn't have a high enough threshold of artifacts. If we obviously stole someone's ad nauseum, then it's a different story. These are all good enchantments. Yeah, nothing else to say about that. We have Glenalendra, this version of Glenalendra. We're going to remove this version of Glenalendra. To delete it. There, yeah. Okay, then we'll save here. Is Insectile Aberration in the deck? You say that like it's meant to be. You say that like Insectile Aberration is the best card in the game. This guy? No. It's not. Cutting and refining is truly hard work. It kind of is, because there's a lot to debate and think of when you're crafting a list, like finalizing a list, personally. Look at Rewind, we just did. Y'all, the list is in the description. Thanks, Truheimer. Great stream so far. It's pretty late here in the UK. Damn it, Ruben! But thanks for communicating that, and good night to you and yours. Enjoy the rest of your evening. I agree with the Universal Automaton cut. You've got a discerning eye. I just thought it would be a cute addition for the cost reduction, but it's entirely unnecessary. I think Curse Catcher's fine, though. I think if anything else were to make the cut in the creature department, it might be the Curse Catcher. I really hate saying it. And also, Pheto Alchemist, like, how valuable is it to untap... How valuable is it to untap our Kaza? I don't entirely know at this point. And I also got to say that Mana Vault, It will help with like big spells like X spells and such, but Mana Vault's not really pulling that much weight in this deck, I have to say. So let's look at these spells now. Counterflux is getting out already, just gonna say it. Issue here is counter spell you don't control. It's 3 CMC, it's 3 CMC with Kaza, but it's just not good enough to begin with. Wizard's Retort. If you spell costs 1 less, yeah, cool, counter spell. We never even added counter spell to the main suite, and I don't know if we need Wizard's Retort either. I want to be able to reduce these further than I'm seeing. Delve with Dig Through Time, that's fine. Refuse Cooperate is super cute and super niche, so I'm going to put it off to the side. It's also a dual color spell, so I guess you could Force of Will it, but I really, really, really love this spell, Psychic Trance. I really love it. So I want to know that it works. I want to know that there's a wizard synergy that works with the deck. That's the one thing we didn't have the time to research. I mean, there's so much to research with this Kaza deck because of its unique style of play that we're not going to be able to cover everything. So thank you for making those great suggestions. Obviously, as I say with all these lists, take with it and do what you will, but I would be curious to know if there's any other good wizard synergies. We also need to cut a land here. And to be perfectly honest, I would rather leave the basics and just cut the Cascade Bluffs. I know this seems weird, but if you have the rainbow lands, if you have the fetches, you should be playing out the proper land base as you go along. It shouldn't be a concern of you to have the double blue, the double red, or vice versa, right? So having this filter land is not entirely necessary. I thought it would be, but I'm gonna nix it. We've got 28 lands, not to include our MDFCs, which puts us at least 30, if I'm not mistaken. Narset Party avails each opponent can't draw more than. This is fine. I don't know if we're really gonna have enough things to really keep her alive so far as blockers are concerned, but we do have bodies here. The thing is, we don't necessarily want to sacrifice these bodies because they lend to our cost reduction. So is Narset Party avails a really good stacks piece for this list? Not really. I do think that we should probably predominantly focus on our countermeasures and control measures on the stack as opposed to adding any elements of stacks. Stack, S-T-A-C-K. Stacks, S-T-A-X. Okay. The wizard cycling on step through is certainly better than this Vidalcan Ether Mage. When it comes into play, return a sliver you control to one's owner's hand. I will sideline neither. What kills me here is that the one I really want is probably the Spellseeker 9 times out of 10, and spending 3 generic to do that kind of sucks, particularly because it has to be done for 3 mana. That's fine, it's fine. This is good though. Like wizard cycling at 2 is good. We can keep that. It feels weird because we're never really going to use step through for its other ability, but there might be some scenarios where we'll have the wizards and this is useful enough. Doubtful, but it's there for that. Draw 3 cards, Treasure Cruise, sweet. Seagate Restoration, sweet. Solve the Equation, why not? Jessica's Will, do we need that much red mana? Be honest, do we need that much red mana? I don't think so. I really don't think so. I hate saying it. We just don't have, there's just not enough reason for me to say that Jessica's Will is good. Yes, you can look at the top 3 cards of your library, so on and so forth. You have mana to help you cast them. Red is going to go into the generic cost of most of these cards, but most of these cards care about blue mana. So I can't really say that Jessica's Will is a obvious or good include, and we don't even have that many generic things to just pour it into anyway. So it's like super iffy on Jessica's Will. So we can talk about keeping it or including it. It's all up to you guys. We've got Twin Flame Heat Shimmer for Naru and our Dual Caster Mage, right? Someone mentioned that Pyre of Heroes leads into either of these two. It's important to note that Pyre of Heroes is a pod, and I believe it only works at sorcery speed, right? Activate this ability only anytime you can cast a sorcery spell. So if I were to cast Twin Flame with Twin Flame on the stack, I cannot Pyre of Heroes to get Dual Caster Mage or Naramea, right? To continue a line of play to win on the spot. That's just not a thing we can do. So is Pyre of Heroes still good? Yes, because we can convert into Spellseeker with any number of these. And truth be told, at a certain point, I might even not want Kaza anymore if it means I can just get the instant or sorcery 2 or less from my deck and put it into my hand. That could be of more importance. The scaling up here is really going to look like Spellseeker into Archmage Emeritus, and then that's a good time for us. And I think that is fair enough. There's enough synergy here to where this is viable. It can all start with Kaza. So I like it enough. Let's see here. Would Docent of Perfection Wizard token be worth a 5 CMC creature? I don't know. Cathartic Pyre is pulling its weight. We can talk about that in just a second. We can talk about that now. Actually, am I looking at Cathartic Pyre? Oh, it's instant. I'm sorry. Yeah, we'll talk about it now. So Cathartic Pyre deals 3 damage to target creature or planeswalker. Right, so you kill a thing, and then also can get cost reduced to drop to 2 cards and discard down. So this is not bad. It's like a different version of a Braid. It's just card quality. It's also fueling your graveyard for Underworld Breach, right? So, yeah, Cathartic Pyre. I like it. I like it enough. I would say that it's certainly an iffy card for the list. I mean, like, is it just any better or worse than just running Faithless Looting? I think that we're not going to need to remove too many creatures, but certainly if there's a Rule of Law creature, like an Archon of Emeria, or Eidolon of Rhetoric, or, you know, Aethersworn Canonist, then we do want creature removal. And you can't, you know, honestly, people consider like Chain of Vapor, this is creature removal. I'm like, no, it's temporary. I want to get rid of the thing, like actually get rid of the thing. So having something that does that is important. I do think that Mind Spring can go. Finale of Revelation can go. And all of these are fine. All of these are fine for now. Until they're not. And then we can decide on what we want to cut. So no more Planeswalkers. And let me see here. Narset is usually not there for static. I don't really, even for that, true. Even for that, this -2 is not enough for me to want to warrant her being there. I think your counter package is decent enough without Condescend. Well, we're actually moving there now. So we need to cut 16 cards. So let's do that. Magus of the Moon is a wizard though. Is it? Jessica's Will Reiterate. Yeah, it's a 2-card tutorable combo. You can say that. I'm gonna take Jessica's Will out. I'm not about it at all, actually. Yeah. I know we are not on Reiterate either, so I'm just not a high on it at all. Did we put in a Braid or Chaos Warp? No. I would probably recommend that you add these things. Like if we really need to get rid of a bad board, we say Spellseeker Cyclonic Rift. Right? And then we try to pop off on this occasion. I'm sorry, we said Condescend. Let's go ahead and look at our tutor suite, or not our tutor suite, our instant suites. Fact or fiction, reveal the top 5 cards of your library and opponent separates them. Just okay on this. Until end of turn, if target player would draw a card instead, that player skips a draw. Nope. Don't need plagiarize. Hate to say it, guys. Hate to say it. Put any number of cards. So Valakut Awakening is something that I thought was kind of cute for this list, as it can also be cost reduced. It can also be your land for turn, and sometimes it'll just be better as a land. But this is not bad for replenishing our hand. Is this amazing? You go back. I'm not high on Valakut Awakening. I'm just going down the list, highest CMC to lowest CMC, so bear with me as we go through this. Ghostly Flicker is not an essential part of our deck strategy. Narumea is most likely just trying to hit the thing that says I can copy her. Fact. Yeah, you don't need it. Unless Kaza had an ability to like use infinite mana, but we don't. Obviously, Kaza herself. The deck is going to have synergies like Blue Sun Zenith, and that's fine. Fierce Guardianship, sure, kid, sure. Cathartic Pyre, yep. All these things look good. Yep. Don't need Dramatic Reversal. Fork, don't need Fork. Don't need the Reverberate. Again, I'm sort of weaning us off red. Impulse. Look at the top 4 cards of your library, put with them to, yep, that's fine. Delay, Izzet Charm is interesting. Izzet Charm is interesting. 2 damage to target creature. 2 damage to target creature is not going to kill Eidolon of Rhetoric, but it'll deal with most other threats. I don't mind this. I don't mind that. Muddle Dimension, it's one of the better charms, if we're being perfectly honest. It's definitely really good. Snap is great. Tail's End is fine. We'll keep Tail's End for now. I want to use it at least. Read the Runes! Draw X cards. For each card drawn this way, discard a card from your hand unless you sacrifice a permanent. Oh my god. I don't like that aspect of the card. I think Drawn for Moons can probably be placed to the side for now. Does this deck want Baron Master? No, Matt Robertson, not necessarily. We talked about it earlier. And he uses this combo in Rograk Tavesh. It's true. Resculpt is great creature removal. Vandal Blast? Maybe Vandal Blast because we have that cost reduction on lock. But we were saying Condescend isn't necessarily one we need or want. I can agree with that to a certain extent, yeah. Consider seems just okay. So Consider is cool because you can use this with our Blue Sun strategy to win the game, right? But I'm not too high on it. Just to refresh everyone's memory, we're winning with infinite creatures on combat step, or we're winning with Underworld Breach line into Blue Sun to just make everyone draw themselves out, or if it's your turn, which it will be, you're going to just do the same thing with creatures. Either way, you're winning. Either way, you're winning. And we can hopefully illustrate it in a second. We do need to cut more cards, though. I'm not too high on Consider. I feel like we have other things to do the same thing. Wait up. Do we have another card to do the same thing? Put one of them to your hand and the rest of them in your library. This, yeah, sure. Yeah. Yep. This might be good enough. This might be good enough. I don't think we need the Ricochet. Oh, Ricochet Trap's pretty gas, though. Okay. We need to cut 5 cards, people. 5 cards. Okay. Let me see here. Let's see. What does everyone feel is iffy? I think the Effetto is iffy. I think that I want to just keep these as they are. I'm not super high on the Mana Vault, though. I think that we need to cut the Mystic Remora. No. Not gonna do that. I could do that. I had a moment of weakness. I'm back. I'm fine. Jace Vryn's Prodigy. Draw a card and then discard a card if there are 5 or more cards in your graveyard. What is the back end of Jace? Is he that good? Does everyone like Jace Vryn's Prodigy? Like, is he really the best card in the game right now? Is he a real meta play? Up to 1 target creature, nope. You may cast instant sorcery card from your graveyard. You know, Jace, I don't like you either. I do like Malevolent Hermit, though. Like Snapcaster. I like all of these cards. I don't even like you. I really don't like you, Vidal Aether Mage. Okay. We need to nix one more card. You know, does having 13 Wizards hurt Pyre? Not enough. Not enough, it doesn't. Okay, so we need to get rid of one more card, and it's going to be not this. Oh, Merchant Scroll, you only get blue instants, don't you? That's probably good enough, isn't it? I'm thinking it's going to be Faithless Looting. Do you think Supreme Inquisitor is still worth looking at as if a plan A creature to infinite tokens? I don't know if we need we'll look at Supreme Inquisitor. We can do that. Oh, that ain't gonna do it though. Target player's library up to 5 cards. What? Search target player's library. Then. No, this is pretty crazy. It's okay though. We don't need that. I don't think we need that personally, but you could certainly consider it if it's something that you want to do to torment your friends. I would probably advise you guys to add in some creature removal. Obviously, that's going to require some fine tuning. If there's any other synergies that you can see, I would consider including them. But I'm going to get rid of the Faithless Looting. Let's just say that that was the right move, and then we will go to test this list. Mox Opal needs Metalcraft. You have 12-ish artifacts. Mox Opal's not in the deck. Mox Opal is not in the deck, good sir. So yeah, we're gonna start. Try it out. See if it's the best. Not this hand. Well, this is not really a big fan of this hand. Not super high. We do have a way to dig through our list. We do have the Underworld Breach, which is going to be the hardest thing to get our hands on. We have a Force of Negation, right? Which is going to probably exile the Unwinds. I mean, in my ideal world, I was trying to hold out for a starting hand that let us just have Kaza on turn, but whatever, we'll keep this. I'm just curious. Just curious. Nope, nothing. That's a really weak start. We'll do this. We'll get a plains. You can tell what I play. We're going to grab an island. This was not a really great keep, but I just want to fool with it. Kaza's really not really helping the cause here, but we'll put Kaza down, and that's fine. Okay. All right. So what are the options here? Honestly, the hard cast on Unwind is fine, right? If we just want to hold. And then we've got this to draw cards. Like, Izzet Charm, what I didn't like is that Kaza's kind of useless in concerns to Izzet Charm. I just want to see what a horrible game of Kaza looks like, and then we'll know what a good game looks like later. We've got a lot of countermeasures, but nothing to do with it, outside of just controlling completely. But I would want to do this off turn, right? And then draw 2, discard 2. I'll get rid of the, it really depends. It really depends. We'll get rid of the, because we don't have any great tutors right now, I kind of want to keep the twin cast. I'll probably get rid of the Nagate and the Unwinds, maybe. Oh, I like mana, though. I'll get rid of Flusterstorm. I know it's crazy. Don't blame me. Don't blame me. Okay. Sure. And we could do delay still if we needed it. I don't know if we would need it. Pull from tomorrow. Pull from tomorrow. I almost feel like we should have took that out before the Faithless Looting. Draw and then discard a card. That's fine. Sure. So in the ideal world, we'd be able to twin cast someone else's tutor. And then go Underworld Breach here. With perhaps like a Brain Freeze. That would be amazing. And then obviously we're kind of stunted at that point because we don't have our own tutor, right? Ooh. No. No. Okay. Not this one either. I mean, blam. Do we have a land off the top? Yeah, we do. Okay. And we're not keeping this though. Oh, it was sideboarded. Chaos Warp has cost reduction. Sounds nice. You can certainly add it, Antonio, if you'd like. I think that this list needs a little bit of reshaping so far as what the amount of utilities we're using so far as our instants are concerned. I think that's fine, but we do need more. Our card quality elements are there. We just weren't seeing them, and that's really luck of the draw more than anything. This is a really interesting setup, but it's not great. So what'll ultimately happen here is I'll probably just do the island into a preordain. Scry 2, then draw a card. Bam, bam. Okay, well, we definitely want the land eventually. Dig Through Time is not very useful at this moment, so that'll go to the bottom. I'm curious to know what else is on top, but I'll just keep this for the island, and I'm happy with that. And sure. Oh, Simian Spirit Guide. Wouldn't that have been cool? That's fine though. We'll do this one for now. I'm going to imagine that the Dockside's not perfect at this moment, and moreover anything, I'd rather just have the Rhystic Study this early in the game. Rhystic Study is going to allow us to draw some cards. Let's pretend that at best, one person paid, 2 people didn't, and we come out on top with 2 cards, right? Cool. And if one of those things was game winning, this was literally our next card. So Pact of Negation would have stopped them, which is kind of cool. So we've got the Brain Freeze. We've got the Preordain in our grave. We've got a Snapcaster Mage, and we've got a Dockside Extortionist. And Dockside is really not... He's probably happy to go down right now. We'll do that first, right? And let's just say that on turn 3 we're making... Let's be generous. Let's be generous. We'll do 6 treasures. 6 treasures seems fair, right? Cool. And... with that, I think Kaza would be fine. Not that anything we have in our hand really cares about Kaza. We're in a very weird scenario where it's like, unless there's attacks like on our Pact of Negation or something, I don't know. What is stopping Kaza from really having a healthy turn right now? What we really want is to just copy up some tutors because blue needs tutors like a motherfucker. But this is okay. I would honestly rather just keep the mana open to do the Izzet Charm trick again. And honestly, Snappy can help us in this scenario. But what's nice is that we've got 5 treasures going for us, and we've got a lot of stuff to do with our turn. So I think the Imperial Recruiter might be worthwhile just for the Dualcaster Mage. And I think just getting us closer to these types of wins would be better over some card quality effects. Although I wanted to jam as many as we could potentially first before, dialing it back. But I think this is This is fine, the composition. There's just a few things that need to change. Cool. Izzet Charm. Let's just say we did this off turn. I'll draw 2 cards. I'll discard 2 cards. And, I mean, what's interesting about Brain Freeze is it's not necessarily vital until we have Underworld Breach on the battlefield, so I'm honestly fine getting rid of that, and if they get rid of it, then we just rely on something else. I think that Pact of Negation is fine in the grave as well. Call me crazy, but I mean, I have Snapcaster Mage if it really comes, like push comes to shove, and we'll continue from there. I think that artifact-wise, Urza's Saga is probably a dead card outside of just grabbing LED, which is something you can definitely do. But I'll get it, you know, on that countdown right now. Let's just say we need to Gilded Drake. We're sort of just controlling the board at this point, and we can put down the, that's fine, whatever. We'll put down the Soul Ring. We'll swing here, we'll swing here. Nice. This has been gilded, it's off to the side. And what have we gilded? Tymna, we gilded a Tymna. Wouldn't that be great? Did we gild a Tymna? We did, we're smart like that. We drew 2 cards. Cool, okay, moving on. Baral, Chief of Compliance. Cool, our first visit outside of Kaza, right? And I've been ignoring the Rhystic Study, so we could just say those 2 cards were from Rhystic Study, although we have a Tymna as well, right? Don't we have a Tymna? That's a Tymna, looks like one. We get another counter on this thing, we can make constructs, whatever. This is a control deck, so it's not gonna be very exciting to watch, I'm sorry. I know. And whenever we counter a spell, well, 2 ways to do that right now. Mystic Sanctuary is not really something you just want in your hand, and you also need 3 or more islands, and we're at that threshold, but I do want you to bear in mind that there's a shock land, this dual land, and 2 islands in the deck, so Mystic Sanctuary, is it always live? I don't really think so, but it is something that you could just have and play with. Let me see what you guys are saying. I like Resculpt over Charm. Sure. Yeah, or Reality Shift. I was going to say 6 treasures. I think so too. I'm going to fall asleep. Really like Izzet Energy. Take care, everyone, and bye. Good night, True. I think Serum Vision's more than... You like Serum Vision's more than Preordain. I'm going to try to just course us to a win right now. So, let's see. What do we have that can help us win the game? Nothing. Nothing. So what I'm going to do is just do this instead. We're going to go ahead and drop the Snapcaster Mage, and we'll drop it by using the Soul Ring, and we'll use an island, right? We'll flashback, and we'll give the Izzet Charm flashback, whatever. So we're just going to cast Izzet Charm again off turn here. Boopity boopity. We've got a generic floating. Did I say off turn? I want to do this on turn. Just because. Just because. Don't need this. Don't need this. Wow. I want this, though. I want the twin cast, and here's why. Okay. Was it logical to just get rid of all of our counter spells, other than miscast? We'll probably be fine. Let's just say miscast was enough. I really hope so. Yeah, that's it. On turn. Very cool. Instant sorceries cost 1 less to cast. You two. Izzet Charm is the only instant or sorcery I've casted this game. Is that accurate? I think so. But we will twin cast bloop your Demonic Tutor, right? So this is the beauty of copy spells. And what you want to stop me? I'll miscast you. No, I usually don't. You wouldn't stop this effect, but you get the deal. We're going to go for a Underworld Breach, right? Because that's what we need to win the game right now. And we'll put that in our hand. People were casting spells. Rhystic Study, Rhystic Study. Cool, cool. That seems fair. I drew 2 cards off of Rhystic Study. I still had a Tymna, but I didn't swing. My mistake. It's all okay, though. Don't worry. We've got this in the bag. Next turn. Oh, Nagate, miscast. Love it. It's reduced. Cool. It's reduced twice. It's reduced more than it needs to be. This will go away, but not before I float 1 generic off of it. And we're also going to search for a thing. So the thing I'm going to search for is going to be a Lion's Eye Diamond. And that will go directly onto the battlefield if you've never used Urza's Saga, all right? So we've got a generic floating from the Urza's Saga land, and we're going to go ahead and cast Underworld Breach, right? Is that okay with everybody? It's not? Okay. Well, I'm going to miscast you. Still not okay? Okay. I'll cast this Nagate, reducing it, and then, I don't know, use this island. Sure. I'll do that. Is that okay? Cool. Cool. Love it. Love it. Thank you. All right. And whenever I do that, I may... Right, I don't think it's absolutely necessary, but I do want to fill my grave, right, just for the Underworld Breach that's here. So I will draw a card for the first one, and the Higher of Heroes is not super vital to us right now, although it is immediately Soul Ringable, so Maybe I'll keep it just for funsies, just because it's a part of our strategy. And Minamo, do I want the land per turn? Not really. We don't need it, right? We've got the LED, we've got a Brain Freeze in our graveyard, we've got Underworld Breach, so I'm not too concerned about these things. So I think that we're fine just ditching the Minamo. But I mean, we're ultimately just going to breach the crap out of ourselves, so might as well just get rid of this and use this as a land per turn and drop the Pyre of Heroes. That's right. LED, it's going to crack. And we, so many treasure, so many, blue. This is going to make blue mana, right? Did I use that generic? Doesn't matter. We're going to go ahead and cast for 1, because we still have Baral down. We're going to cast the Brain Freeze. Now, Brain Freeze is going to be reduced by Pyre of Heroes, Underworld Breach, Miscast, Nagate. Well, when the spells, yeah, for each spell played before it this turn, so it had to be 1 counter and another counter. So we're going to mill ourselves 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cards. 6 times 3, right? So 18. That's a lot. I'm not going to do all of that. Do you want me to do all of that? We'll do all of that. What we'll do is just this instead. Because what's going to happen is that we're going to exile our not exile. We're going to discard our entire library. We're going to mill ourselves out, right? While making mana. And we're going to make +2 every single time we do this. We need to get rid of 3 things every single time we do this. And it's always going to be lands, all right? That's the name of the game with this card. So once we're done milling ourselves, we haven't even gone to combat yet. Remember, we still have Tymna. We still have Tymna. You're going to twin flame the Tymna because who cares? And you're also going to dual caster mage on top of that. So at a certain point, you're going to shift over to red if you want, but we also just have the treasures available. We also just have the mana confluence available. Oh my god, did we do it? Did we do it, Dad? I think we did. Okay, so that's Kaza. Did we really, would I say to Spaceman MTG that we got the most out of Kaza? Certainly not in this playthrough. I do think that there are other ways that you can utilize her ability to the fullest, or moreover what we had here. But to me, she's just incremental value on turn and giving you Izzet, because Izzet really cares about what we just did there. But obviously, like, this is assuming a few things, but the Rhystic Study with the Gilded Drake on a Tymna, a very likely suspect in the world of cEDH. It's not impossible to believe that that game didn't play out the way it could have. It could have played out even better pending the situation, but Dockside for 6, all of these things are within the realm of possibility. So that turn 6 win is a possible scenario for this list. I think it's fine. I would switch out the Urza Saga, potentially add in another island or utility land of your choice. On top of that, I would probably incorporate more value cards and tutors. Tutors over anything. Does that mean put Vidalc and Aether Mage back in? I don't think so, not necessarily. But Kaza's fine. I don't think this is again a clear example of what she can do potentially. I think with just a little bit of fine tuning, she can certainly be better. Is she the best Izzet Storm list? I don't know. I really can't rightly say. Maybe there is something to be said about all of the X draw spells, right? Maybe they can functionally be better for us. And in my mind, the route I like to lean towards is utilizing those copy effects to steal value from our opponents. But unfortunately, those copy effects in both colors are double red, double blue. Like, there's hardly a generic cost to them outside of Reiterate. And, you know, we're not really trying to pay that buyback cost, although we could. So maybe Kaza would be good for Reiterate. You know, you have to think with a different gamer mind than you would for other decks. Because at that point, we had Baral and Kaza, so far as Wizards were concerned. And the cost reduction would have been 3, right, for instants and sorceries, which is actually quite a bit. So Reiterate with buyback wouldn't have been that difficult. So maybe there is something to be said there. Maybe there is something to be said about higher CMC spells. Because generally speaking, you try to, in a cEDH setting, play with the, you know, the skinniest spells. That's not a good way to play it. Not a good way to say it. You want to have your deck as low a curve as possible. So think differently here. Definitely Overload. Someone mentioned Vandal Blast as a potential Overload card. That would be fine. Obviously, all of the removal spells are very meta dependent. So a lot of those card quality effects can get replaced by removal. Like I heard Chaos Warp mentioned a ton. You certainly can add it. I do like Cathartic Pyre for the card quality, because like that Izzet Charm really, really saved us there, at least through how we played out this hand. But I hope this was useful for you guys. And obviously, again, take this list, do with it as you will. You're more than welcome to ask me questions in the comments after this video. I'm always happy. I'm always here for them. And obviously, Spaceman, I hope this was useful for you. I think that this is how I would probably initially shape this list with the mass attack strategy and Underworld Breach Brain Freeze Storm. Like, that is a very simple thing to do in Izzet. But there's certainly a little bit of fine tuning to be had here. And I would probably incorporate as many tutors as possible. Definitely. Okay. Prismari command instead of Izzet charm, potentially. The pile isn't essentially functional without her. The pile is essentially, which I do like. She's just there for value, right? Seems like a bodies on board version of Fadric Astral Archmage. Capsize, Whispers of the Muse, and Shattering. Yeah, all these things, like they're like Whispers of the Muse is like not a common card, but it actually function well here, well enough here, right? But as I do with all these videos, I like to close this out by thanking our Patreon community and, of course, our YouTube members. Thank you guys so much for helping to support the channel, making all of this possible. Obviously, your patronage goes miles into making sure that these are a thing I can do with my time. And obviously, our Brew Masters in particular for making these assignments for me. These are always fun to work on, and it gives me an opportunity to work on something I wouldn't otherwise have looked at. But Kaza is one I just haven't had a chance to look at and get to make time for. So thank you so much for hanging out with me as I made this one. I hope that this was useful for you guys if you're interested in doing this as a commander. I don't generally brew for blue, so I do love the suggestions. I say it in video, I actually mean it. It's always great hearing your opinions on the color. And of course, if you've brewed for Kaza, lay down your list in the comment section. Let me see what you're working with. Like, are you on some sort of turns package? What kind of strategy did you go for instead? How high of a CMC curve did you actually go? I'm very curious to know. But I'm glad I was able to do this one with you guys. Again, my name is Patrick Marlett, and happy brewing, babies.